I wish it was real.
Fucking A, right on. I wish it was real too. For damn sure. I could turn around and show mine, but I
Yeah.
don't have a couch.
I'm
So
recording
we're
up in
good.
my bedroom. Yeah, we're good. We're recording. I'm recording up in the bedroom because it's just Christian and I here this weekend. Girls
Uh-huh.
are away at a competition thing. So it's all good, man. So hopefully the connection's strong because it's at the further end of the house, but we still get like Wi-Fi. It's just sometimes it kicks out here.
I think it's great so far.
Awesome.
So
Oh, look at
right
this.
on. It looks good too. Yeah. Did you cut your hair?
No, it's
Okay.
actually the longest it's been in a while. You just
Maybe
can't
it's
really
just
make, yeah,
it's the style, I guess then.
yeah.
All
It's the
right, let's do it.
VHS
Okay.
background.
Let's make it official. All right. All right. Welcome to Exploding Heads. You could even put the beginning we had on already. This is
I get it.
bullshit.
That's like old school, like BS. Remember when
Right.
that would be the Patreon video? Like you get it right from when we hit record to the
True.
end. Look at
Episode
this. Look
203.
at this.
We'll say
I
20.
didn't
Would
try
you
to.
slit your wrist? I'm the
No,
one
I
that's about to slit his wrist. Oh, it's a little low for the wrist. Okay.
yeah, I fucked up
Which
huge. No, I burned it on an air fryer. The stupidest
I
thing, man. I burned
oh
myself 3 times in the last like month and a half, and this is the one
wow.
that's like been the worst.
Were they all on air fryers?
No, one was
Okay, that's
stupidly
good.
I had something in the oven and I had an oven mitt on, went to grab it out. I don't know what I did, but it lost. I guess it was because I only used one hand and all the food slid off the thing. So in
Mm,
like I grabbed it with my other hand really quickly, stupidly, just impulse, right? And
it
I burnt
happens.
like it was like the top these 3 fingers. Well, these 2 fingers on the thumb. And that
Oh,
like stung for like about a half an hour and then nothing. It
hmm.
was definitely a more severe thing. This was like a quick one at the side of the air fryer. When I pulled it out,
Oh,
I
damn.
just hit it. I just pulled it out and it just hit my skin.
Ouch.
And the other one
Damn.
was put a pizza in the oven. Like it's stupid stuff. It's not like I've never done it before, but if I actually just took maybe 2 extra seconds of caution, the shit wouldn't
Yeah.
happen.
I've been on a good run. I haven't been burned in I don't know how long. Knock on wood. It's been so long. I used to get burned all the time back in the day because I worked in the pizzeria and I was doing this, that, the other thing. You get burned. It's just part of it happens more frequently. I can't remember the last time I got burned. And you got three in a short time. That's
In a month and
wild.
a half. And that's no exaggeration. Would like you
Wow.
were also not to switch gears, but you're talking about getting burned. Why were you burned this morning? You're off to a
Holy
bad start.
fuck.
You want to get into it
My
or no?
God. Yeah. I mean, now that I've had my first sip
I don't
of
know if I'm
coffee and
you
I'm
feeling
here.
better.
Well, the thing, no, well, I have to be in a good mood when I do the show. But there's usually times if here's the thing. Since we went to Zoom to get to break the fourth wall here. Okay, so now we're on the Zoom, right?
We've
So
always
since we've
break the
gone to
fourth wall.
Zoom, well, yeah, true. We're what do you call it? We're doing the Zoom now, but I have to launch it. Because a whole long story. I got to do it from
Yeah.
my end. Christian does things on his end. I got to do it. So my computer sucks and it's just slow. So in order to do Zoom, I have to
Mm.
log into the website Zoom because if I log into the app on my computer, Zoom, it won't work. So I have to log into the website. Then I have to launch meeting. Then the app will open up, and then I can take that, copy that link, and send it to Christian. But the way I send it to Christian is through Facebook. So now I have to open up a second window. And that's what kills everything is having two windows open and then having to go to the messenger on Facebook and send it. And it just makes the computer slow and it fucks everything up and it's a real pain in the ass. So basically we record at 9. I've been coming down at 8:30. So now I have like a schedule. I have an order I do things in the morning. And I decided yesterday when I went to bed that I'm going to do something different to make it less stressful. So this is what I did. Set my alarm for 7:30. Got up. I used to shower first and then make breakfast. And then I would have to go to the bathroom, which is backwards because you shouldn't shower and then have to shit. What's that? But anyway,
Yeah.
and then
I
I
hear
end up
you.
on the show, right? And then I'm stressing out, whatever. So, but even before that, Sunday mornings I go to Tim's for the
Like
breakfast.
you magically appear. I end up on the show somehow. I'm not sure how it happens.
It just
Thing. I was just on the shitter. What happened here?
I wish I could do the show from the shitter. That'd be even if we didn't have
You just
cameras.
put one of these back. You know, who knows? Maybe I'm on the shitter right now. If I look
That's
like
true.
this, it means I'm
That's
passing a
true.
nice one. Yeah.
You know what I might do? I might change my background like you did today, which is great, by the way. Well, we said that it's top of the show because now that's official. But we'll maybe I'll make the back of my background. Maybe I'll make my background a bathroom. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So now you'll never know when I'm really in the bathroom and when I'm not. So I could actually take a shit. Right. I will admit this. I've always been clothed when I've done a show. That's the truth.
Yeah.
I've never
You know,
had
when
a
mirrors like, oh, today I get to wear pants. I've always worn
right.
pants, maybe
Well, yeah,
shorts,
everything.
short
Pants.
pants. Yeah.
Wow.
Or
At least
pantaloons.
boxers. Pantaloons. What are pantaloons anyway?
I think when
Okay.
I think of pantaloons, I think of like pirate-esque garb where they wear like, I don't know, like these pirates wear like a blouse and like some pantaloons, like balloony
Pantaloons.
pants. I don't know, like pants that like kind of balloon out at the end before they go into the pirate boots. That's what I think.
I think of the UK for
That's
some
what I
reason,
think.
but I also think of like a big cluster of balloons, red and blue and this and that, like
For
a whole.
pants?
What do they call that? A bouquet? No, I just think of balloons, just because
Yeah,
pantaloons.
a bouquet of balloons?
Is that what they call them? Like if
No,
you're holding a
no.
balloon, is there a name for that? Or do you just say that guy's holding a bunch of balloons, that clown or
Yeah, a bunch
whatever?
of balloons.
A bunch.
Yeah, I don't
Okay, I
think
think
there's an
about a
actual
bunch of
name.
balloons.
Yeah.
A cluster.
Bunch of
How about a
balloons.
cluster?
I was thinking cluster too, funny enough. But
Because
yeah,
of grapes.
either
You
or.
know,
Yeah.
I
Cluster
think it should
balloons,
be
bunch of balloons. Bunch of balloons though just as B and B, Let's get that bunch of
bunch of.
balloons.
It's
Just going
fun.
off the
Bunch of
bunch of
balloons.
balloons. Bunch of
That should be.
balloons.
That's a company, don't you think? Bunch of balloons. Like if you own a
Yeah.
company that sold balloons and inflatables and shit like that, bunch of balloons, and not bunch
Yeah.
of balloons, bunch of balloons.
Yeah.
It'd be great. It'd
Yeah.
be catchy.
Like muncha cakes. I wanted to start like a dessert shop.
Yeah, why not? It's catchy.
It's another exploding head side business that we're going to start up.
So many ideas. So what?
After we
How do
bring
we
back
get
the
to
vintage video store.
right? Oh shit, that's for sure. How do we get to this balloons? Balloons. Hey, how about those balloons? You know that?
Pantaloons, bunch of balloons. Pantaloons, bunch of balloons.
Well, how do we get to pantaloons?
This is the equivalent comedy of Uma Oprah. Uma Oprah.
I don't know what that
Pantaloons,
is.
bunch of balloons. You don't know that it's an old thing from the Oscars when oh fuck, what's his name? David Letterman, and he was like Uma Thurman, Oprah Winfrey were there. Like
Okay.
Uma Oprah. I feel like there must have been some sort of history to it. But part of me saying no, it was just a spur of the moment bad joke.
Well, were they together?
No, they were in the audience, but not together.
Oh, I thought they were on the stage.
Uma, on one side was Oprah. No.
Oh, I thought he was like introducing one to the other. Uma,
Yeah.
Oprah, Uma. That's what I thought. Like they were all on stage
Nickels,
together.
Nickels, Noodles, Noodles, Knuckles, Knuckles, Needles. Fuck.
Wow.
I've always wanted to do that where there's a bunch of gangsters. It was like Noodles, Knuckles, Needles.
That could be in the movie.
Yeah.
Here we go again, sitting around doing the freaking. The sketch would be the best. There's no question that if we made a UHF horror, that would be
like
the way to go.
Abbott and Costello, which because we watched. Well, okay, spoiler. I mean, spoiler. We talked about it already. You're going to see it on the fucking episode art. I love how we use art as if I'm not just copying and pasting other people's shit to make the cover. But
Very
the episode
artistic
thumbnail. Yeah. That we're doing the Wolfman and Late Phases, 2 werewolf movies. And it was great because then it made me, after watching The Wolfman, which I had watched, I thought I watched it earlier in the year, but I had watched Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, and for whatever reason, I guess I thought I watched The Wolfman too, but I didn't have it on my letterbox. So then Alyssa forgot to put it on. So I rewatched it anyway for the show. But then it got me into wanting to watch Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein because it's Frankenstein, The Wolfman, Dracula are all in it.
Right.
And a little cameo by the Invisible Man. So
Oh yeah.
Man, what a fun movie. What a
Hmm.
fun movie. And the reason it reminded me of that is just because, yeah, that Knuckles, Needles, Needles, Knuckles just reminded me of like a who's on first, what's on second type of
Sure, man.
like comedy sketch.
I can dig it. Yeah. Okay,
Just
let
not
me
as
take this.
polished.
Let me take this back to where I was. What happened this morning? I didn't tell you what happened.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So
Yeah, yeah.
no, I was trying to figure out how we got to this, and then I'm like, wait, somehow we got to
You,
pantaloons,
you
and then
never know.
balloons.
If someone was ever trying to
It's
piece
like a
together
game.
the thought process of the show, they go insane. I think they would actually go totally insane.
I think so. You know, I used to play a game where you would say something, and then the person would say what it made them think of. Right? And then you would say what that made them think of, and you would go for so long, and then it would go for so long, and then either it would end when somebody couldn't come up with anything good, or somebody would say, "Okay, how did this go from this to this?" And then you recount the steps. And it was fun. I would do it at work sometimes, and I would do it like in my 20s and shit. It was a lot of fun. It was just a game I would do. Like I'd
Mhm.
say to you, it's not like a word association. It's Oh man. It's almost like a game people would play when they're riding in the back seat of a car and kids are playing something. I
Yeah.
spy or some shit, but it's not that at all. Instead, this is like, I'm going to say something to you and you tell me what you think of. And just for a few minutes. Okay. Okay. I'll just say anything. Tim Hortons,
Donuts.
Homer Simpson,
Oh yeah, that's funny. I was thinking the same thing, right? When you said uh cartoon.
Family Guy,
John Goodman.
Roseanne.
Uh fuck.
Most that's too late.
Uh
It's
yeah.
got to be
Is it
instantaneous. You lose.
sorry. That
No,
was
I
the
had to
first
end
thing.
anyway.
Nothing just would so I lost? Like what
That's Yeah, you only
yeah.
get like 5 seconds to respond or you lose. You know what I'm saying? Because it has to end
No
sometime.
one
It
told
can't
me
go
that
on for
rule when we
eternity.
yeah, I
We'll
thought it went
try it
on for
again.
eternity.
We'll try it one more time. Okay. Poland Spring.
Poland's what?
Well, hold on. Maybe it's not fair. That's the water I drink.
Yeah,
That's the
I had
straight.
no
That's
clue
the
what the
bottle.
fuck that
Okay.
is. What bottled water? Oh, did I just yell that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not enough. Bottled water. It would be too difficult. I tried to
Jesus
put something in
Christmas.
there that. Let me try
Yeah.
something different. Hold on. Let's try something different that's completely out of left field.
Spring.
Well, not at all. I'm gonna look around the room and see what I see. Okay. Popcorn.
Butter. I
Butters.
win. Sorry?
What do you mean? That's 5 seconds. Butters, I said.
I said butter and you said butters?
Yeah.
How is that even fair? This is like
Hold
scrap.
on. Wait a minute. I'm not saying the plural of butter. I'm saying Butters from South Park. The character Butters.
Oh
Get
my
it?
Lord.
See?
Yeah,
That's
get it.
that's allowed.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
rules
Okay.
here.
Okay. Cartoon.
Come on, cartoon. The Simpsons.
Homer.
The Oedipus.
Oh, for fuck's sake. H.P. Lovecraft.
Brian Sammons.
Uh ABC's a hidden horror.
Okay. Jamie Sammons.
Podcast.
Exploding Heads.
Dave Z.
That's it. We can't do it. But
somehow
you
we
get the
knew
idea.
somehow we knew we'd make this about us in the end.
Right?
You know, why am I sweating?
I don't
I'm like,
know. I am too.
like it's the coffee, it's this room,
Yep.
and it's
And
just
I'm
the
greasy.
intense energy.
And
But
I
I
greasy as
shower.
fuck. I did not see more on that. That's back to this. But isn't that a fun game? You see, I used to do that all the time, and just what reminds you of something, and you just keep
Yeah.
going, and the best part is at least the conversation. Like you say, well, how is this, and then you have to explain, and you laugh about it. But anyway, how do we get to that? Back to the beginning now. So I set my alarm for 7:30. I always do, and it always ends up stressful because I've been going to Tim's and coming back, and sometimes they fucked up the order with my wife and this and that, and I'm rushing, and I come down here, I get in the computer, fucking mayhem. So I said to myself, I'm going to wake up at 7:30. I'm going to go to Tim's right the fuck away. I'm going to be back. I'm not even going to eat the breakfast. I'm going to take a shower, and then I'm going to come downstairs, and then I'm going to start to eat as I set up my computer at 8:30. Hopefully I get it all set up by 8:45. Then if I have to go to the bathroom, I have time. Everything is perfectly laid out.
Did you get wrenched?
Time, right? No, I got fucked. I didn't get wrenched.
Oh.
Listen to what happened. No.
Sounds better.
So, it's so much worse. So now I get up this morning. It's 7:30. My alarm goes off. I come downstairs. Now, I don't know if I'll get to that in a minute. Okay. So I go out. I'm going to go right away. I get dressed, throw on some stuff. Tim's is like freaking whatever, 3 minutes away. So I come downstairs. My cat's crying. Lucky wants attention as usual, wants me to let him outside. It's always a fucking thing in the morning with him. So I go out to my car really quick. I'm able to get out to the garage, and with him not seeing me and following me, I start the car, open the fucking garage door. Okay, let the car warm up a few. Now I come back in the house. No, I'm in the car. I think I go back out and I sit down in the car and I grab my pockets, and I realize that I have this in one pocket, which I always do, my AirPods, and then I may have a sanitizer in the other pocket, but the thing I don't feel is my wallet. Yeah. Well, I made the mistake of not bringing my wallet once a few months ago on a morning before a podcast, even though I order on the app. On Tim's, it fucks me all the time. Sometimes it won't go through. So then if it doesn't go through the app, I have to, go through the drive-thru or inside in order and pay with my money. Well, the one time I didn't bring my wallet, the fucking app didn't work, and I was stressed the fuck out, screaming at the top of my lungs, having to come back home, do this, come back home, motherfucking everybody in sight. So now I'm not leaving.
The same way. I'm the same way. I'm tearing this place down. It's like, it's a fucking.
You should have seen me.
But I get like that too, because it's best laid plans. I get it, man. I could follow your train of thought, because I'm built very similar in the sense of like, I've got it all laid out. Don't derail me. And when I get derailed, that's when I get fucking
correct
next level angry.
I can't get over it. That is it. That's what happened. So now I come downstairs and I'm like, oh, fuck, my wallet must be in the house. So I come in the house, look around the counter where it should be. It's not there. Now I'm bugging out. Where is it? I come down here in the basement. I was podcasting for a few yesterday. I thought it might have been on the couch. I can't think of any place else it could be. But I know yesterday I was on the phone with somebody and I had to give them my ID for my insurance for something or other. So I know that I had the wallet yesterday and I didn't go anywhere yesterday. So I know it couldn't have gone far, but where is it? I can't leave the house without it. So now I'm bugging the fuck out. So
it's like Amex.
Now, now I'm trying to think. And fucking Lucky does not shut the fuck up.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Because he wants me to take him outside.
So for once you punted the cat, please tell me you punted the cat.
I wanted to. You haven't even begun with the cat. Later. No, I'm telling you, we haven't even begun with this fucking cat. So now,
sorry,
crying,
Chris,
crying. He's fucking crying, and I can't think when he's constantly fucking doing that. I'm trying to figure out what my wallet is, and I'm stressing out. So eventually, I just opened the garage door, let him go out to the garage, which I shouldn't do, but I did. I was like, go on, just get the fuck out of here, I said. And I closed the door, I let him go out in the garage. I don't think he's going to walk out without me because he doesn't leave me too far. So, but I'm mad at the time, and I'm not even caring. So then I walk around the house, still can't figure it out for about another minute, and I go, let me look in the car. Sure enough, I come down, I look in the car, and it's I put the fucking wallet in the fucking console there where you put your drinks.
You did one of those things where you came in, sat down, and popped it in, but didn't think about it because then I've done that.
Maybe
with my phone usually. It's my
right.
Sorry. Here we go.
Alrighty. Well, the phone usually goes in first because I have to connect it to the Bluetooth, and now my car doesn't like my phone. Anything with me in electronics, I got to baby it. So if I don't start the car, with the phone sitting in the fucking thing, and then start the car and then let it sit there, it won't recognize the phone. And then not only will it not recognize the phone, it'll make me delete the fucking phone and
Oh no.
reinstall the fucking phone. So everything I have to do is baby with fucking kid gloves. So I have it. So that'll always, but this is the one day, Sunday mornings, where I don't do it because in order for this damn computer to hook up to the AirPods, I have to completely shut this thing off of my phone so it doesn't hook up to the phone. So now I
Yeah.
can't use any Bluetooth in my phone for the whole day until I'm done with this podcast. So I don't use it. So the phone isn't, I listen to the fucking, they got this thing called Breakfast with the Beatles on 97 Rock every Sunday morning, and it's perfect
Is that
for
where they
me.
play all the Rolling Stone songs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. Yes.
I
Only.
stumbled over that joke anyway. It was horrible. I apologize. Brandon would be ashamed.
He would.
Uh-oh. I hit my mic though, so there's
Oh,
that.
well, what? Of course. Why break precedent? So now,
Sorry, Dave.
okay, so now I get out there and I see the wall. It's there. Okay, wonderful. By this time, Lucky's crept out. He's exited the garage. He's doing his thing. He's just hanging out close to me on the grass, looking around. Well, all of a sudden, he sees a bird on the fucking neighbor's lawn. Now, he does not stray far, but he's on the hunt for birds. So all of a sudden, he zips off into this little garden thing in between my house and the neighbors. And then he perches himself and he goes into that mode and he's going to pounce on a bird that's a little bit further up on the neighbor's lawn. So he's getting ready. His fucking tail's doing this electricity thing. It's fucking funny. He gets all crouched in there. He's ready to pounce. So then he's so funny because when he runs.
So does this make you happy though at the time to see it, or were you getting more angry?
Yes. No, I love it. I love seeing him do it. It's cute.
So
because
this change, yeah, it sounds cute. So
that's great.
This kind of brought your mood down a little bit.
Well, yeah. So now at first it's great. And the funny thing about him is when he runs, he keeps his, you know how cats, they do that what's the word I'm looking for? When they're on the prowl, when they're being stealth,
like
and
stealth
they're trying
mode.
to get their tummies hit the ground and they walk real slow and they do well. He has his tummy on the ground, he crouches down, but he goes fast. He's fucking funny. So he's not even really being that stealth, but he thinks he is. So now he gets to this thing, he's hiding in this garden, he looks and he sees the bird's hopping around. Finally, he takes off, and I'm thinking, he's not going to go this far. He's never gone this far as this. Well, he continues to go all the way to the neighbor's driveway, and the bird takes off. Now he's in the neighbor's driveway. And I'm thinking, okay, now I'm wearing my fucking slippers because I didn't bring them to go into fucking Tim's and stay in my car. I just didn't. My foot hurts. I don't wear shoes unless I have to. So now he's there, and I'm trying to get him to come back. I'm waving him over, and I'm like, fuck. And now the garage door just so happens to begin to open at the neighbor's house. And I'm thinking, oh, fuck, because I'm rushing and I don't want to go over there and see one of my neighbors because then I have to get into a conversation. And I'm fucking rushing.
Yeah, the exact
I can't do it now. So now,
I love my neighbors, but they talk more than I do.
But little did I know what was going to happen. So I wait a minute or two, trying because I don't want the neighbors to see me because then I got to engage. So now he doesn't come over.
Is she wearing
so now
slippers?
I start to go over there. Yeah. Then I walk across the grass with the morning dew in my fucking slippers, walk across the fucking thing, and I get over there and the cat goes into their garage. And they got two cars in the garage. And the thing's open. I see them both there, husband and wife. I go, hey, my cat came in here. Now, Lucky is against the fucking wall, between the wall and between her car. In the space there, and for some reason he's looking at me, and I'm trying to get him to come out, and he's just spinning in a circle, like when they chase their own tail. That's what he was doing. I don't know why he was doing it. He was acting weird, and think, oh, maybe he's scared, but I'm right here. What's he doing? And he's not even close to them. Like she's on the other side of the car, and he is trying to get in his car and go to work. So they're on the other side of the garage. So there's no reason for him to be acting up. He can't hear anyway, so he's not afraid of noises or anything. So now, motherfucker goes underneath the guy's truck and will not come out. Will not fucking come out. Now here's the worst part. He has to go to work. He's got to back up. And now this poor guy, he ends up rolling his truck out because he doesn't start it and going slow and neutral. It's because he doesn't want to hit the cat. I'm like, I'm sorry, he's got to go to work. This fucking cat will not come out. Now, of course, as soon as his truck is backing up more and the cat's exposed, he runs right under the other car. and this motherfucker will not come out. Will not. Now 10 minutes has fucking passed. My car's running. I want to be way gone by now. I'm fucking flipping. So now this is happening.
Oh fuck!
And I'm trying to get this cat. And then one time I come back home. I run back home and I get the red light thing. Thinking they'll follow that fucking thing anywhere. He loves it too. I get the red light thing. I go on. He will not fucking budge. He looks right. He doesn't even fucking give a shit. This motherfucker. This goes out for another 15 minutes. Me and this woman trying to get this cat out. He goes by the tire of her car. He sits there and he hides.
Do you at least get along with it? Like, isn't this not the neighbor that saw you piss in her yard or something like that? Is it?
I don't think anybody ever saw me piss in the yard, but it is Chicken Little. It is that woman.
It's Chicken Little. Yeah. Okay, that's yeah. The sky's falling.
But he's really cool. She's okay, and I get along, but I bitch about her. You know what I mean? So when I'm there, everything's it is what it is. But all this fucking shit's going on. Time is finally I get to the point. 15 more minutes come by. We can't get the fucker out. I'm telling you, he will not budge. I don't know what to do now. I have all this stuff to do and get ready for this podcast. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not saying this in front of anybody. But I'm trying to stay cool in front of people. And then finally I said, you know what? I'm going to Tim Hortons. Leave him in the garage. I don't care what happens to him. I said, she goes, Irene home? I said, yeah. I go, when I come back, I'll get, if he doesn't come out, I'll get her and what have you. So now I go to Tim's. Now I'm fucking miserable. I'm cursing the whole way there. I'm fucking motherfucking yelling at the top of my lungs and nobody can hear me. Motherfucker out of my fucking steering wheel, a complete lunatic. Then I pull into the Tim's parking lot and I've
been there, man. I'm not gonna lie. I've done the exact same thing. I hate to admit it. If there's a camera, if there's a camera that was on you that played it back, you'd probably be like fucking never wanted to do it again. I'd be so fucking embarrassed, but I'd be lying to say I've never done that before. Like we're just
out of my mind.
Fuck the goddamn world.
And the thoughts that go through my head, I'm on another level of fucking insanity. Like serious, another level. So now I pull in the parking lot. Okay. And I'm good because I order on the app. And there's nobody in line. See, that's why I go right. That's why I learned go to Tim's right at 7:30 as opposed to like 8:15. Because by the time 8:15 comes, there's going to be a line. So why shower and then go with a line? The earlier you go, the less chance of a line.
These are life hacks.
See, it's a life hack. I had it all planned out. Sure enough, I get there. There's nobody in line, but I can't pull right up to the fucking thing because I didn't put it in the app yet. So I park in the fucking parking spot. And I try putting the order in the app. Meanwhile, there's a guy next to me with his fucking music blasting so loud in the parking lot that I can't hear. I can't concentrate. And I'm already fucking in one mentally as is. And his music blasting. So I'm like, motherfucker, fuck you, I yell at the top of my lungs. And I just fucking turn out the Beatles to fucking full blast. Just to fucking match whatever they're doing. So now I'm sitting I'm in one big time. So now I'm doing this stuff.
Laughing, but...
I'm putting the order in. No, it's great. I put it in and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I put the order in. Then I'm like, okay, please go through so I don't have to fucking go inside or anything else. And it went through. Then, of course, I turn around. There's fucking 4 people in line now. Now I hit the fucking roof. Now I turn around, I pull in, and I'm like, fuck every motherfucking one of you. Now, I don't say it to anybody's face. Yeah. I'm in my car. Yeah. My windows are rolled up. I'm cursing at the world, but to myself. So it's not like I wouldn't curse up a stranger out. But first chance I get, I'm going to behind their back. So the biggest fucking part is this. So no, I text my wife as I'm in the line at the fucking thing because it's moving so slow. And I tell her fucking what I say. Lucky got out. Hold on, maybe it'll be funny if I tell you what fucking Lucky is stuck in Michelle's garage. I gave up on him in half an hour. And then she says, come on, is Michelle up? I said, yeah, will not come out from under the car. Tried the light and everything. Now I'm late again for my show and I can't shower. And then I said, obese with them both. And then I corrected it. I was with them both. And then I said, Joe left to work. And she said, I'll get him. I'm like, okay. But now the time I sent the text is 8:12. 8:12. I sent that first text to her. I should have been back and had fucking been eating or in the shower by fucking 8 o'clock. Now it's 8:12 and I'm looking, oh my God, I got to log in at 8:30 because it's pain in the ass fucking
Yeah.
Zoom. The
Oh,
show's
no.
at 9. I'm not going to shower. And that's the worst part because I did not shower last night. So because I didn't shower last night, I was too tired and everything else. At the end of the day, I said, I'll do it in the morning. I'm going to anyway. I said, fuck it. I'll just do it in the morning. I'll just brush my teeth and wash up for now and I'll be fine. But I need a fucking shower badly. So now I don't get the fucking shower. So that's what I'm really fucking pissed because there's 3 things. Well, there's breakfast, there's fucking shit, and there's shower. These 3 things have to happen before I get on here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I had time to eat. I came home. I was trying to set the computer, this and that. Now, okay, I'll tell you what happened. So now I come back. As I'm driving back, I see my wife on her fucking knees in the garage of the next door neighbors halfway. And I see Michelle standing next to him and she's looking. So the cat is still not coming out.
Oh
So
my
me,
Lord.
right, still not out. So
Bring
now
it
I
back to that
come,
boy.
pull into the fucking garage, come in the house, grab the light, the red light, and I give her the light. I go, here's the light. And then someone says something. I said, I don't even want to hear it. I'm completely done with that cat. Those are my words. so anyway, I don't know what. My wife's probably pissed off at me. I don't give a fuck. I'm fucking done with these animals. So now I come back. I get in here. There's no time for a shower. There's no time to fucking do this. I'm going to try to eat and set things up. Go to the bathroom, running around. Bottom line is the fucking stress of it all had me to fucking if I could have had a heart attack or fucking gone into something, I'm surprised it didn't happen. I get so angry. And I haven't been this angry in a
Isn't
while.
it weird how what the weirdest things that do it though? And I'm the same way. I'm like, it's gonna be something stupid like that that boils my blood and gets me all hot and bothered, and there's really no reason for it. But like where people legitimately get mad over certain things, I'll be kind of calm and collected, and I'll blow my top over stupid shit like that. And that's not stupid, but like because it
I hear you.
derails
No,
the
it's
fucking
okay.
day. I'm not trying to
Right.
undermine it. It's like fuck, best laid plans, and then you just get screwed, and that's the shit that drives me nuts. Nuts.
Dude. And I've been so calm for so long. I've been so good, but this new job has got me all fucking like I explained last time.
You need to have
You
those
know?
moments every now and then. It's just I've done it where you're just in that mode and you're just like yelling at the world or whatever like that. Who's with us out there, everybody? Or are we just 2 lunatics?
We're probably 2 lunatics. I don't know. We're temperamental, I think. And but the thing is,
Ah,
I won't let it
I
out.
know I am.
I try not to let
Let
it
it
out.
out. You let it out. You let them out.
You let them out. But I really do try to hold it in and not act a fool in front of my family. You know what I mean? Because then my wife will get mad at me if I do it. Then I got to deal with that fucking shit. You know what I mean? Then I'm the bad guy. And then on top of it,
Yeah,
then I got a fucking war with her. I got to settle. That's what you can't fucking win. You can't win. The only way to win is to be free of the fucking chains. If you can free yourself from the chains, you have a shot. Like I just saw something the other day,
like
which
marriage.
I don't want to say. Well, I don't want to say what the show is because it's spoiler or what I watched.
Yeah, okay.
But I watched something and it had an ending that hit me so hard that I had to watch it again last night, just the last 12 minutes of it, of a character and what happened to them. And without getting into it, this character says he went from fucking rags to riches to rags. Okay? And his greed caused him to fucking go all the way down back to rags again. And at the end of it all, he was fucked. He was fucking stuck. He was fucked, right? Had nothing left. Well, just about
Millions.
nothing left. It's kind of like that. But it's like, ultimately, at the very end, his old friend comes and sees him that he was in business with and who he did good things for himself. He saved his money, didn't get too greedy, did some things, got out of where they were because it was a bad area and everything, and then came back to visit, and they were best friends since they were kids, and they went through all this together for like 6, 7, 8 years together on top of their friendship when they were kids. So now he visits him, and the way you see this character compared to how you see him for every other fucking episode for the whole series is different until these last fucking 12 minutes of the show. And you see that he's fucking fallen into this terrible fucking state where he's in this house. He can't afford anything. He's a fucking drunk. And he's just in this fucking house, which is disheveled, and it's really bad news. And he takes a walk in the back alley with his friend because he goes, if I go out of the front, they're going to come and get me. So is he paranoid now? What's going on? Anyway, he takes a walk. And at the end of it, at the end of their walk, just as they come back from it, the authorities come and they seize the house for fucking non-payment of taxes. So now he has nothing left because the house was paid for and that was it. So he should have had 5 years apparently, but he goes, they're fucking me. He goes, it should have been 5. It's only been 3. So now he's got nothing left. He even had to borrow a 20. His friend offered him a job at something he was doing. He completely blew it off. And this was the guy that was always out to make money. And all of a sudden he's like, can I have a 20? He just wanted to go get a bottle of liquor. It was fucking
show
sad.
You're watching?
It was a show. It's over now. And it was really, really sad to see what happened. So now, but then when they come back and fucking it gets seized, his friend tells him, he's like, hey, listen. He goes, I'll pay the property taxes. We'll get it cleaned up. Don't worry. I'll get you back on your feet. It's not that much. Let's get this. And he's like, no. And he says, listen, he goes, now, and he says it in this way. And he's just like, you don't understand. He goes, now I'm free. He says, I have nothing else because I'm not tied to anything anymore. His family's done with him. His fucking, he doesn't have to work anymore. He doesn't have to worry about his home being seized or anything going on.
And
he basically says,
I have like Euphoria.
Well,
like you're thinking this is Utopia.
Well, I thought
Euphoria.
that. I've said that for years though, but I can't do it because I have a child and I got to take care of her. But this guy's not allowed to see his kid. So there's another whole situation there. The woman took off when things went bad and took his son with him. And then she called him once and he explained that. So now he goes, I don't have a fucking chain around my neck anymore. He says, I have nothing. And he goes, and he just walks off. He goes, no. He's like, listen. And he tells him, I won't even tell you in case you ever watch it. But he says something about, you did the right thing. And now here I am. And he goes, I'm free now. He goes, it's all gone. He goes, I'm okay. And he walks away, fucking homeless and fucked. And that's the end of it. But he says, I have no chains around my neck now. He goes, I don't want it. He goes, I'm free. I don't have to worry about anything anymore. And in a way, that's kind of liberating. And that's what I'm saying.
They say there's books on this stuff too. But again, it's just like anything. Why the fuck is Siri kicking in? Oh, maybe because I said they say, and suddenly Siri thought I was calling her. And it's that's fucking funny. Putting everything in captions of what I was saying. The fuck. That, and again, it's kind of like diets or sales books or tactics or your self-help. It's all part of that same sort of recipe where it's just a different take on the same thing because the person that's writing the book wants to make money. Let's call it what it is. We want to help people. I know the guys are making money, which is the same thing of half the reels and shit that you see on Facebook and whatever. It's about like, here's a quick side hustle, and it's always the same fucking shit that you got to do. And maybe it still works. But nothing's easy. Usually you do have to have a little skin in the game. You might be able to start with absolutely nothing like they say, but usually a little skin in the game. And it might be like the well might be dry because everybody seems to be doing it already. Maybe not, but that's why they say 20-year-olds are better at this than us old folk because they've been sort of brought into it. And we're a little bit more standoffish when it comes to I guess, diving into this type of business entity where you can work from home for a couple hours a day and make way more money than going to work. But if you focus some energy and attention to it, we should all be able to do it. Now, that's not what I was getting at. What I was getting at is the liberating factor of don't tie yourself to possessions. Don't own your house, which there's arguments about this too. There's a lot of arguments. Your rent's gone up fucking through the roof. So why am I paying exorbitant rent? The thought process is you can just walk away. You're not paying property tax, you're not paying mortgage.
Repairs.
Typically, you're just your utilities and rent. You pay, and then you can just fucking typically pick up and leave, depending on what lease you've signed. The downfall is a lot of times you're paying, like at least in this area, you're paying way more for rent than a mortgage would be, for the most
Yeah.
part, depending on if you've saved anything and whatever. But bottom line is rent goes out the window, at least the mortgage payment principal becomes equity that you could hopefully leverage later in life. So, but the goal is like, even like having shit like this, physical media, books, shit like that, it bogs you down. It actually becomes chains because you can't just pick up and leave. And so there is something liberating in that thought process. Is no different if just saying, if you don't have all this shit, you can just pick up and fucking leave.
Yeah, you can.
But when you have all this shit, it bogs you down, and it's just fucking material shit that really in the big picture doesn't mean anything. It's supposed to make us happy, and I guess there's a little bit of happiness that comes through it, but in the big picture, I did cut my ties with media. I told you it was like 3 years ago. It was COVID summer or the summer before, 2019 or 2020. I can't remember, it all blurs, where I started dabbling and jumping right back into collecting physical media again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been like a downward spiral ever since.
Well, you gotta do it the right way. Like the other day, there was an arrow sale, and I was looking, and I wanted to buy like 12 things, and I ended up buying nothing. I hemmed and hawed. I said, no, my daughter's birthday's coming up, so that kept me from doing anything. I said,
well, that's
okay,
it. You got to be,
do the right thing.
smart.
Right. I can't do it.
And you got to be smart. If you have disposable income, sure, so be it. But it doesn't take away from the fact, depending on your thought process, if you don't care, if you're like, yeah, we'll go travel, we'll go on vacation, and I come back home, all's good. But if you have that mentality of, I just want to be free and whatever, then that's what bogs people down. Is like, they look around, they've got all this shit, furniture, everything else. Like, I mean, that's life. Some people love it, and some people that's just what ties them down. They look at it and go, I'm trapped, or I can't leave here. So I see both sides. Like, I love that factor.
I do.
Like, if I was younger, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I get it. I mean, if I can fit my, my movies in like a few boxes, it's not like I have like 2,000, 5,000 movies. Like I said, I've sold off a lot of collection in the past. It's grown substantially again, but it's not by any means that size. And it's almost like thankful, because I'm like, you're right. You do get, I think that's why I sold it shit before, because I was just lugging it from house to house or whatever back in the day. And I'm like, do I really need it? Now I wanted it again, but for what reason? For what reason? What fulfillment do I get from it? It's a little bit of enjoyment. You go back, read an article or two here and there. Most of it you can find online. Most of it you can find digital. I know there's something that having it physically in your hand is great, but why? What does that need? Stranglehold on us, whether it be collectors or just fans or whatever. What is that stranglehold that we have to feel the need to collect shit and physical? I don't know.
Well, as far as modern things, just being fans of movies, we like, we like the Blu-rays, and we like to have our stuff and what have you, and be able to put them on in there, and they're good quality and stuff. And I enjoy having it. I don't need it for everything. I don't really have any, like, I don't want to have a DVD. I can't watch a DVD at this point. I just can't. I'm not going to buy a DVD. I'm not.
I've got my old one still. Like,
they're there. They're on display still, but
I don't go buy a DVD. When you remember, you gave those stats one show, DVD was huge. I think DVD, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if you remember, because you probably don't.
I do. I remember talking about
wasn't DVD more sold more than Blu-ray?
Still, because it's a cheaper option. Yeah.
When you go to Walmart, you see way more DVDs still than you do Blu-rays.
It's pretty even at mine, but still. If you go to like a dollar store, not a dollar store, but like one of those Dollar General or Family Dollar or one of those, and they almost always have 80% DVD in their shelves there and stuff, and that's fine. I just can't watch them. I mean, you know what? If I'm gonna have them on physical, and that's the only way to have them on physical, I could see that. Like I have
Yeah.
Murder Party on physical on DVD, and I have like the Loved Ones, because that's the only way you have them. They're not on Blue, or they weren't at the time. Whatever, in time, you think if they're not on Blue by now, who knows how long it's going to be. So you buy them. So I have done it. Can I say I've watched them since I've done it? No. And on top of it, now I have MB, and I could just get anything down there and stream it. And
Yeah.
it's in high def. So it's like, of course I'm going to stream high def before I watch a DVD. Why would I not? That doesn't make any sense not to. So as long as
Well,
I have that going for me, I'm straight. I'm cool. Is the bubble going to burst someday with streaming and what we have available to us? I don't know. But I'm talking as a person that has a house and is in a house and has a family. That's different than a guy who doesn't have any of that and doesn't have all this stuff. And for
no.
him, the chains for him to remove are just going out there into the world and doing it. I used to always say this. I said, I would totally be a bum, but if I was a bum, I would do it in fucking California. Why would anybody be homeless in fucking Buffalo, New York, where fucking 7-8 months a year, it's fucking horrible. Now, if you're homeless, you have nothing but time. Surely you can come up with enough money somehow to be able to take buses to get to the fucking West Coast or to Florida or somewhere where the climate is going to suit your fucking, the fact that you don't have a fucking reliable house to lay your head down at night. You don't have that. So why would you not go where it's at least warm? That's never
Absolutely.
made sense.
I've always wondered, I always said that too. That's why Vancouver, although not California weather, Vancouver is milder in its temperature, annual temperature. And that's why it's got a really bad like drug, there's bad drug areas everywhere, right? Every area has sort of a bad area, more or less. Vancouver's got a really bad stretch. I mean, you can check this out on like YouTube or again on Reels or whatever the fuck, and you'll see it. It's like blocks upon blocks of tents set up outside, and it just looks horrible because it's a milder temperature year round, and they pop up the tents. They're not being kicked out, and there's a huge drug opioid problem there and homeless situation as well. It's a combination of both. But it's because of the milder temperatures. So the point of where I'm saying is it only gets better. But I wonder, I'm assuming, I know they've already have an issue with homeless there, but do they allow like you popping up a tent or all that shit? Because exactly, why wouldn't you live by the ocean? You pop up your fucking tent,
right?
You hop into the water, you dry off. Like,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you're not having a natural shower by any means, but yeah. Exactly.
What do you have here? I mean, think about it. Things are so bad here that you're homeless. You can't say I'm staying here for my family.
Buffalo wings.
Yeah.
Icicles off my diet. Like, I mean, like that's exactly it. It's freezing fucking cold.
I'll never get it.
Brutal. Yeah. Stupid place to be homeless.
It never made sense to me. Why anybody would not just be a beach bum if they could. Seriously. It's the way to go. I go as far as I could, shit, so be it. And that's a way to be free. But then again, you're not going to be able to watch movies anymore. You're not going to have this and this. Good luck getting laid. And if you do get laid, it's probably going to be someone that you don't want to have sex with. So how much do you value all that stuff is what it comes down to.
You're about to graft your dick onto your chin for never having an orgasm again. So you should be fine.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's too late for me,
It's
I can't.
I'm a goner. So
There's
Carly, if you're listening, be a beach bum out in California.
She could. Well, it'd be a lot easier for a female to be unemployed. That's because men are stupid and men will give them shit. And then people could say whatever they want about that comment and say, oh, no, this and that. No, it's true. You could see, I know women. I'm friends with fucking females. I know ones that have fucking different men in their lives. Some are sugar daddies and they give them nothing. They give them no sex at all. Just the fucking, they have an older man in their life that fucking does that'll help them out and everything else. And they enjoy it. And it's like, okay, and they're not giving them anything, and they're sleeping with maybe somebody else.
That's crazy. I'd be like, hey, hey, honey, I got 4Ks to collect. You ain't getting fucking shit from me,
buddy.
Vamos.
I hear you. But
Yeah.
these guys, they're out there, and if you just got to
They
know
want
to
to, maybe
look
they
for
just
'em.
want to go out for dinner with them or whatever like that. I mean, that's yeah, no, not for me.
Men are
Not for me.
stupid. They want sex and companionship, or both, or fucking. But I mean, they want too much. They need women too badly. Women do not need men that way. The same. It's just not the same. I don't think. Where men are just fucking stupid. So females, they can do it. I've said it all my life. I know how I would do if I was a female. Fuck, I wouldn't fucking work. Fuck that shit. You know, because men are dumb. Although it's a different world now. It's hard to say with, with working everything. But I was thinking about what you were saying about 20-somethings earlier about how they're gonna be better at certain things. I think because of the world the way it is now with the internet. Oh, this ought to be fun.
Oh, Dad.
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, not much. Just hanging around. We're doing the podcast situation. What are you doing?
Nothing. I was gonna take a ride to the road, stop by for about 5-10 minutes, have a cup of coffee, give Cheska some money, and I'll be leaving. How's that?
Yeah, I'll be downstairs when you come, but call Frankie and see what she's all about, you know?
And we can take a 5-minute
This
break
week's
if
her
you want.
birthday, right? Thursday.
What about Thursday?
Sorry.
It's her birthday pretty soon, right?
Oh, Friday, the 28th. Yes.
Are you doing anything or just having telling everybody happy birthday?
We're figuring that out still.
Okay, that's no problem. I'm gonna come out there now. I'm gonna stop at the res, and I'll stop by you guys for about 5-10 minutes, and I'll be out of there. All
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Hey, have you ever seen the Wolfman?
The Wolfman.
Yeah, the Wolfman from 1941. It's a horror movie.
Oh, it's Lon Chaney, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I seen it.
Oh,
Turns
okay.
into the Wolfman, sure.
Yeah, you liked it?
Yeah. He turns into the Wolfman.
Yeah, he does. Did you watch those?
He sure
He made
does.
a couple of movies. There's Abbott and Costello meets
Yes.
the Wolfman, and the Wolfman was always Lon Chaney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was on there. Yeah. What about did you watch all those ones like Dracula and Frankenstein?
Sure, I watch him.
Ah, the show. Yes, of course. That's great.
Used to
Man.
go to the Saturday afternoon. I think it was like 16 cents.
Wow, really?
Wow.
Well, it was a neighborhood show, you know. There was no television, you know.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So when
I was seeing a little while though.
okay,
The
good.
Wolfman. Oh boy, oh boy. All right, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
That was fast.
Wolfman.
Okay, I haven't seen it. Bye. Yeah, the Wolfman. He
Yeah.
changes to a wolf.
He's
I
on his
love-
way to the
I
res.
love when he
He's all-
laughs. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's all business. He's on his way to the res. He's got to take care of some situations over there.
Bed
Speaking
bugs.
of the res, I went to the res and I dropped my daughter off for something a few weeks ago.
What the-
And I
what's
went
the
into
res?
the reservation, pardon me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
So no. So it's the reservation. There's a couple stores across the street from my daughter's school, actually. Smoking Joe's and some other. And I
Yeah,
heard they
yeah,
got
yeah.
smoke shops in there now, like marijuana shops. So I'm like, oh, I was just curious to see what the deal was here. So I went in. They have full freaking dispensaries in there. You go up there, you go into this freaking room, you got to show your ID, you go into this enclosed place, and they got all this different weed on the freaking counters in jars, different strains. They got a thing at the top like you're at the sports book. It tells you what strain it is, how much it is for a gram, for a quarter, for an ounce, everything. It's so cool, and it's all right there in these jars and different strains and stuff.
Isn't a quarter a quarter? Sorry. It was good. I'm out.
Yeah, imagine that. You can get a quarter for a quarter. Yeah,
I'd like to buy a quarter. And he just popped like a quarter. Even Steven?
Do they have quarters in Canada, or do they have eighths,
Yeah,
or because you got
we
different
still have quarters.
measurements? Do you have different terminology out there?
No, it's the same. I believe it's. I mean,
Okay.
You know what? To be honest, if I go, I get something different anyway. But from my understanding, it's all the same because that's the same
Okay.
terminology I would use.
Well, yeah,
So-
because you guys use the same thing, right? You guys, I know that we have the difference in kilometers and miles.
No, there's
of
a
course,
we
but-
use like milliliters in liters, remember, instead of ounce and gallon and all that shit.
So
Yeah.
when you go in there, you don't ask for a milliliter of fucking something, or they don't sell it that way.
No.
It's still an ounce. It's still American.
Well, no, I said I don't know, to be honest,
Right.
because
That's
I'm
fair.
getting something different
No,
when I'm going. So I don't know. I just use that terminology because that's just what I've grown up with. But
it's just
from
the street slang.
from going into like a shop, I actually don't know.
I'm curious now. I'm curious
Yeah.
if Canada has different. You know what I'm saying? They call it something different. Yeah, because I was just curious.
I don't believe they do though. I can look it up while we're talking.
Yeah, it's just occurred to me now about the whole thing. So yeah, he's going to the he's not going to the dispensary, that's for sure. But I wish he was. He could use some, a freaking an edible. That'd be great. Anyway, I don't even know where the hell we were. No, here's what I was saying: the 20-year-olds and shit, the young people now. This is what I think. I think that a lot of them are going to be broke as fuck because of the internet now and all the opportunities out there. And like you just said, everybody's trying to fucking get your dollar. There are so many things you could sign up for with your money and voluntarily. It's right there in front of you at the click of a fucking button. Imagine if when I was 20, I could spend money at the click of a button as opposed to having to go out to a store to buy things and shit. It just seems that you're going to be more impulsive and worse with your money when you're young. So I think there's probably a lot of, now look at the collectors. I got to have the fucking, think about the video game collectors and the fans of whatever they're into and how they can keep doing it. Granted, they're 20, but still a lot of them respect like the old games and the old shit. They'll say, oh, I want to get this and that. And it's weird, because I know some young folks that collect horror stuff. And I know some guys that do wrestling and video gamers and shit. And a lot of them they're into the old stuff, like from our generation still. They never played it, but I think they want to play it or they want to own it.
But there are people that are doing this. Like, think about the people that are doing this, what we're doing. Think about the people that are like Mr. Beasts of the world and whatever. There's a bunch of them that literally are doing videos of running around screaming into the microphone. And I'm saying there's more to it than that, but it's constant content. I just don't, it's hard to grade that content because I don't see it. Like my son's watched them. I'm like, this is fucking awful. But millions of people are watching it and supporting it. And the Mr. Beast of the world of sort of giving back and doing that. And they've developed this fan base. That guy has like 140 million subscribers or something to that effect on YouTube.
Wow. So
the revenue he's generating from that, from like ads and whatever, is astronomical. True. That's stuff I'm talking about. There are people that started podcasting after us that are younger, and maybe the Dead Meat, it comes to mind or whatever like that I think have gotten a huge following and, have, probably cleaned up or making monthly income from doing it as a job. Like everything that we've jokingly said for years,
right?
They're doing. We're not. I guess we can't figure it out, or whatever we've done.
We don't have that video that way. We're not doing that type. And we have videos of this that you're seeing right here. But anybody can do this. If I possess the ability, because I have so many ideas to make videos and to edit it and do other stuff, and there's so many ideas I have that I could do them. I just don't have the ability to put freaking pen to paper.
I can do that. It's the time. Like. The fact is, we do this. This already takes a chunk of time. I then quickly edit it, but streamline edit, as I call it. But we've got full-time jobs and family, whatever. Let's say they don't. I don't know what they do. But if this is their full-time job, then yeah, I agree. And that's the one thing about being young. You could take more risks. And I'm not trying to be the old cranky guy. Anybody could take a risk, but a risk is a risk. And I've got expenses to deal with, as do you.
Well, yeah.
So there's only so much we can do. Whereas you could put a little bit more time and energy into it. So yeah, it's really cool. And YouTube really evolved into something new, because I would say that I was an early adopter of YouTube. I think I've mentioned it on the show before.
Yeah,
my first account, which is still active, I think is from like mid 2000s. I think the one that I have there is 2006, which I feel like is a little late. but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is it.
It was
Like
after
that,
4.
yeah. But I feel like I was on before. There was something else that I joined that fizzled out immediately. And I
E-Bong
remember there
World?
was Daily Video, Daily Motion, and YouTube. And Daily Motion's still here, but who really goes to Daily Motion anymore? Like, I don't think it's
I
still
never
active,
have.
but I don't see people going to that anymore. YouTube has just sort of been where everybody sort of goes, but to watch it instead of TV is what's really changed over the last 10 years. Like that's what's
True.
established itself in the last 10 years is people are cutting cable and just saying, well, I can watch everything on YouTube. And that also is possibly what has changed, as we talk about things that have evolved in whether it be political or people's mental state or what they've got access to. It's the fact that it's not professionals. It's just people putting out opinions that have become fact.
Right.
And that's what has definitely been the change in the last 10 years. And again, it doesn't matter what side of the political
Right.
landscape you're on. It's both. And it's just been a bunch of opinion.
Right.
And people have just, like-minded individuals then make that into their fact. But anyway, that's more of a deep
But
dive.
the thing is, they already align with them beforehand. Like, look at us. We're just spouting opinions about movies and other things like that. However,
Yeah.
the listeners to our show, they could disagree with what we're saying about movies and
Yeah.
entertainment and do all the sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Just because they're listening
Yeah.
to what we're doing doesn't mean that they're agreeing with our opinions. Especially you could have one opinion, I can have a different one. So that's the thing. Now, if you watch something that's aimed at politics, it's going to have that echo chamber cultish fucking attitude, which it does have now. Where everyone's going to line up, and it's just.
But most people, and I can say most, very small percentage are going to go in there and have their mind changed or be opened to having their mind changed. They are already going in with a set mindset, and there's no changing it. And I'm not saying that I've never done that, but I try not to do it. But it's difficult because I lean towards a certain belief structure, but I'm not against hearing other thought processes. It's just sometimes when I hear some of the other thought processes, I'm like, this is the reason I lean towards the other way a little bit more so. But I'm not against hearing it. I'm not against hearing it at the very least. And I'm not going to say that's my only thought process. I would never say that. I lean this way, but I'm not against. I agree with certain things on the other side. This is why I say I can actually see shit from both sides. It's just the extremes now are what's going crazy. And speaking of opinion, we always get great feedback when we talk about music. That I almost feel like we should do Exploding Heads, the music horror, well, not horror, but just music podcast. But I don't feel like I'm as well versed in that. Like, I mean, again, I got an opinion on different genre and different takes on music and whatever like that, but I don't deep dive enough to feel like I could do it other than talking about it as an aside on our show. But Steve Penna, am I saying his name right?
Yeah.
And Chris A.K. Scott both have the exact same feedback. And it was funny. Chris got back to me on Facebook Messenger, and Steve put it as a comment on our Patreon page. And both were talking about the guttural kind of lyrics in death metal or really aggressive metal that almost like, even though you can't understand the lyrics, that's almost a plus for them. It's almost like that voice is another instrument. I think I did say it. I just don't like that necessarily.
Yeah.
And they said they can make him focus on the music. And it was almost funny. Their arguments, like what Chris said to me in Facebook Messenger and what Steve put up there, were almost identical. And it's hilarious. I even said, you guys are like soulmates.
Wow. And the thing is,
so they're going on a fishing trip together. I'm sorry.
Imagine that. There are times when I've said that somebody's voice does feel like an instrument in the song because it fits in so well and it's so good. I never thought of that quite in that way when it comes to death metal, because the thing is this, I like lyrics equal to music. Maybe it depends on the band. Maybe some bands I like their music more than their lyrics, or vice versa. But there's a lot of bands that I like equal, and to me that's the best of it all, is when you're into it all. So I do like lyrics, And it's weird. Everyone's different that way. And I guess that's my issue is I want to hear the lyrics. I want to hear what's being said, but I also at the same, I can't knock anyone that's saying what, like what Steve and Chris A.K. Scott are saying, because I get it.
I love it. It's Chris A.K. Scott almost every time now. Like that's his new full name. He should change it legally.
Yeah, he should change it illegally. His middle name should be AKA. His last name Scott. His first name Chris.
And if anyone wants to know the history of that, if they don't remember the history, or they came to the show later, it's because I said Scott. What's his name? Like we're talking about him, and I'm like Scott. What is his name?
I thought it was me that said it.
Oh, maybe. See, it's been
because
so
I can't
long
remember. I still don't know his name. Is it Chris or Scott? I think it's Chris.
It's Chris.
Okay. See what I mean? I don't know.
And then there's another one. Isn't there another one? Scott, aka Chris. There's another that
no. John Rhodes did that on purpose in the chat. John, aka Chris.
Yeah.
Oh man. And speaking of John Rhodes, I'm sure he's happy because in
where's
Evil
Rocky?
Dead, it's Evil Dead fucking mania going on. Actually, yesterday I showed the original to Frankie, and then I watched the remake at night.
Nice.
And if we have time before we go see Rise, she's gonna watch part 2. I thought she should watch the original and the remake, and then part 2. Maybe I don't know. Either way, she's gonna see at least part 1 and 2, and then go see Rise. But
based on her taste on that you've always mentioned, she'll probably not like 2 or Army of Darkness, which is a sin. It's a fucking sin.
I didn't even mention the words Army of Darkness to her because I know she's gonna feel the way I feel.
Doing her a disservice.
I can't. There's no way. Honestly, though, you know what I could do? I could not say anything, and I could just put it on and watch it and see what she says.
Yeah.
And just not say. I want to know kind of what. But I've already kind of let her into it. I go, the third one's, they have another one, but it's called Army of Darkness. It's not even called Evil Dead. And it's really a comedy with horror elements, so it's different. That's all I've said. It wasn't like I didn't take a shit on it. I just said it's not really important to see it. When you're talking about the Evil Dead as a franchise, seeing Army of Darkness it's not really that important, I don't think. That's all.
I got the 4K of the 2013 one should be coming today. For me, because I have the DVD or the Blu-ray, but it's that R-rated one, and it was irking me because although it's gory as all fucking hell, like I said, it's got that plot inconsistency that we were arguing on the show when we were doing the franchise when Brandon was still here. That there was one soul missing, and that's all remedied in the uncut. And I know you bought the 2-disc.
I watched it
Blu-ray.
last night. It's remedied.
Yeah.
I got to think about this. How is it remedied? I can't even remember.
Well, I did the verbiage off of reading about it, but there is another soul taken in the uncut one that has been edited out or changed.
Well, how many
for
are
the
there?
R-rated? I
Okay.
can't remember off the top. This is why I bought it, because I really wanted to see the uncut, and so that's what's coming. I've got that 4K double disc because it was cheap. It's the same price as the Blu-ray. I know that Blu-ray came down for you, so that's why you bought it. But I've got the single disc Blu-ray, and then this 4K was pretty good price. And it's got both versions.
Wait a minute, though. I still think that there's only 5 people at the cabin, right? There's the main girl, Mia, who's kicking the drugs, right? Then there's the girlfriend girl for her brother. I'm just trying to go through the females first. Then there's the third female. And she is the one that's the nurse, right? So I believe it's just those 3, and then the other 2 are the 2 guys, her brother and the guy with the glasses and long hair. 5. So how could you add a 6th soul? There only has to be 5 souls. That's the answer. And they all do.
Yeah, but there was an issue initially because we kept arguing about the dog or whatever, and so. All I know is that if you Google it, because I remember talking about this, and I watched the R-rated version again, and I liked it a lot. And I was like, this just keeps going up for me because it's gory. The R-rated version's gory as all shit. I'm like, how much more gore can they actually put in?
Gore, and there's more other stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly it. More gore and other stuff. And when I read about it, there's talking about it, and they actually addressed the fact that it takes out one major plot issue that is from the editing into the R-rated version.
Well,
And it
does her
answered to
brother
their question.
die?
I can't recall, man. Now you're asking me to recall the article. I did say it on
No,
the
no,
show
no, no,
before,
no,
but I
no.
can't remember it now
This is what I'm
off the
asking
top.
you.
You
The
just watched
original.
it. I mean, I don't even remember now.
I'm asking about the one you have, on the regular cut, the R-rated cut.
Yeah.
Does the brother die in that one? Do they show him being engulfed in flames in the house?
I believe so. But see, I remember
Well, there has
flames.
to be 5 then.
Yeah.
Because there's 5 and she dies.
Well, we were
and he
all
brings her back.
we were all up in arms. Actually, it was more you and Brandon up in arms because sometimes this stuff escapes me and I wasn't even thinking about it. I think Brandon brought it up or you brought it up as a nitpick that there wasn't enough. And then we were arguing that the dog would have been the 5th soul.
That's what I
or something
thought,
like that.
but
That's
I
what
thought
we
it
were
happened
arguing
earlier.
back in the day.
Okay.
And speaking of Brandon, I was traveling this week and I was listening to Video Archives, which has nothing to do with anything. It's a Tarantino podcast. And I guess I ran out of episodes and it automatically put our year-end show with Watson from 2021 and Brandon. Like
Oh, okay.
getting very close to the end of when Brandon was a regular on the show as the third co-host, because I think there's only 2 more episodes after that. And hearing him on that show, man, it made me very, very sad.
Yeah.
Lots of good jokes, man. A lot of good banter back and forth. Not that this isn't great. I mean, we're fantastic. But I was just like, holy shit, you do miss whether it's the bad dad jokes or some of the fucking killer ones that he would drop.
Yeah.
Because he always gets bunched into the bad dad B jokes, but he had some fucking zingers, man.
Oh,
They're
man.
fucking
For
tastic.
sure. I can't even allow myself to. I'm with you.
But it was sad.
I try not to make myself sad, but I see what you're saying. I think about it. I'm like, I don't even entertain that idea. I just enjoy listening to it. But that's it. It's like anything. I just try not to think about something that makes me sad.
So on that note,
But
we're announcing his replacement.
In our retirement. It's too much for us.
Yeah.
It's too stressed out.
Brandon's solo cast is going to replace this. It's just going to be that same one over and over again. I'm going to slow it down though, so that it feels like he's actually breathing. He should give me the raw audio of that and I'll re-edit it.
Of what? Of you doing sleep?
Of his slow, no, not me sleeping, his solo cast from way back when. The band Brandon Don't Breathe.
Oh, Brandon Don't Breathe. Yeah, yes. I was thinking about Don't Breathe last night because I was watching the Evil Dead remake. And of course, she's in it. Jane Levy. So, and what the hell happened to her? Where the hell's she been?
I don't know.
Right?
But it's funny. I was watching late phases for the show, and I'm like, yeah, I couldn't think of I was thinking of Don't Breathe as well, just because of the blind character. It's like this guy might be the most kick-ass blind person ever. I'm like, well, we've got Don't Breathe as well.
Wow. Yeah, true. So it is a little connection there. But yeah, what happened to her, Jane Levy? It's been so long. So
I've
strange.
actually checked her filmography. It might be not so long. She might be in a ton of things that are just not horror related or whatever it may be.
Well, maybe not, but she was doing horror stuff for a bit there. And then not. Kind of like all these fucking directors are doing. Now, Ari Aster's new movie, I'm not even excited about.
It's fringy. I heard it's fringy. I mean, it was never supposed to be a horror film.
I know. I'm just mad. I was hoping it was going to be, and I'm tired of this happening. I'm tired of guys starting off with fucking banger horror movies and then getting the fuck out. At least Flanagan's fucking stayed the course, It's just unfortunate, that this happens. I understand there's other stuff, but I'm like, man, you get these banger horror movies coming out. You get freaking Eggers and you get Astor. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with Peele? Is Peele going to stay with it? I hope he does. But we don't know. Kind of seems like
he will. He will. I mean, so I just checked her out quickly just to see. She's been in constant stuff. She was in Castle Rock in 2018.
I saw that. That's the last time I saw her, Castle Rock.
And then there's been a few shows, a couple shorts, and A Little Prayer was a movie that's coming out this year. Dave is a TV series. There's 1 episode and 2 things coming out. The Problem with People. And she's actually in another fucking name well, actually, it looks like since it's in post-production, the Toxic Avenger.
Oh, everybody. Who isn't
But
in
since
that fucking,
it's
you and I are
in,
on there next.
it's it says it's in post-production though. So
Yeah.
before it was always just listed. Fucking
Oh, well,
crazy.
but is it the same cast? If you go look at that Toxic Avenger that says post-production, are there still freaking 75 participants in it?
Yeah, it
You know what I
says
mean?
Jane Levesey, Elijah Wood, Kevin Bacon, Jacob Tremblay, Peter
Can all
Dinklage.
them, how could they all be in there? And does what's his name?
Peter
have anything
Dinklage
to
is
do with
small, so I'm sure you can fit in the frame quite easily, and then you just put the other ones behind.
it? But is
No.
what's his name involved? That's good.
Lloyd Kaufman's a
Yes.
secondary writer.
Oh, that doesn't mean anything. He already wrote that. Means he wrote the first one, right?
Macomb Blair, is that his name? Macomb Blair, who did
Sounds like a familiar name.
Yeah, because he did The Hunt.
The Hunt. Yes.
The Hunt.
Yeah, okay. I've heard that. He's an actor or a director? Macon Blair.
He's a director. He's a director. Wait a second. He also did he's an actor
What do
too.
I know?
He was in Green Room. He's also did Blue Ruin and Green Room and Murder Party.
He's that no, that's not his name.
Actor and writer of those ones.
He's okay, he's not the director. The director is what's his name?
Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy. No, but he wrote and acted in them. So so he's a jack of all trades, if you will.
He is. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see what that Toxic Avenger situation is. And what about Maxine? Is it coming out this year or next year?
Well, let me have a look here.
Go ahead and look. I'm curious now because I'm really getting antsy about seeing this movie.
The Pansy?
Yeah, in the Pansy. Oh, and everywhere for that matter.
Did you know Ty West was directing it?
No, I didn't. Of course I know. Fuck it.
It doesn't actually say. It just says the title. It's funny. It just says the title. That it dropped down in huge in popularity for some reason. I hate that popularity button. I don't even know what that fucking means. And
I didn't know it
there's a bit of a, I guess there's a little bit of a teaser, and there's that shot from they I don't know how there's a teaser. It's supposed to be the same thing that they played before, because it said the first production shot was the one of Mia Goth popping out of a car or something like that.
Yeah, I put a few up. There was 3 pictures that came out. I posted. I was like, oh, look at this. She has blonde hair and looks pretty 80s and whatnot. Yeah, right, exactly. Sons of bitches. This thing's driving me fucking crazy, by the way. This is what drives me mad. Look at my phone. You see that thing by the messages, the messenger, the Facebook?
Yeah, and you try to clear it off, and it doesn't clear off.
And it's nothing, and no.
Yep, I know.
These are the things that I'm OCD of. I don't like any notifications on my screen.
I think they do it on purpose, because it's like, man, like they know people are addicted to this shit. We're programmed now. I see a fucking notification. I'm like, I got to clear this thing off. I'm like, why do I got to clear it off? But I got to clear it off. Yeah, I'm OCD with it too, but there's no reason.
See?
There's no rhyme or reason. I should just get rid of all notifications. Don't even show me.
Well, I do.
I've got anything.
This is the only one that I have on is Messenger, and it's only for certain certain discussions. I keep everything on mute unless I log
discussions.
Dog discussions. Dog. Welcome to dog discussions. Because he has an accent, so it kind of sounds a little.
I know where you're going with it. Yeah. Dog
discussions.
You know, today we're talking about the Shih Tzu.
Yep. Dog discussion. Honestly, dog discussions has a ring.
Stop talking about pickle. Stop talking about pickle, Eric. This is dog discussions, not cat discussions. Get this fucking pickle talk out of here.
I'm all done with him. Lucky, every morning I let him out because he loves it. I don't know a single living, outside of Bailey and food, I don't know a single living fucking creature that is obsessed with anything as much as this cat is obsessed with going outside in the morning. When I take him out before I go to work, I give him 5 minutes outside. He is obsessed with it. He cries and cries and cries until I open the door. He's reaching up on the doorknob. He is all about it. And I'm taking that fucking shit away from him moving forward.
Oh, no.
Now, after what happened today, I got to put him in a cage in the morning now. And then so
Yeah,
my
make
wife,
the punt the cat jokes, but that stuff makes me sad.
it makes me
It
sad
does.
too that it's come to that. But
It's, it's like
he
grounded. This fucking
keeps
cat's
fucking me,
grounded.
and now the weather's getting nice, and this is when he should be going out chasing birds, everything else. And now I'm so mad at him because anyway. So
I gotta wait. I just have to do a sidebar based on everything we just talked about. You really do need to know the show. Like, if you are a new listener to this show, I could see it driving you fucking insane as well. Everything's driving everybody insane today because you would be like, who the fuck's Pickle? Dog discussions. What the fuck? Chris A.K. Scott, what the fuck are we talking about? And this is why I think we've got the people that have stuck with us through thick and thin. And even with Brandon leaving was a fucking big change to the show.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the promise that he's coming back every now and then is great. People love hearing from him, and I love that too. But it's day to day or week to week. It's a big change in the show, and you know, I guess just people stick with it. But I could see a newbie being just fucking going, I can't follow these guys. What the fuck are they talking about?
I know,
and I love that. I guess I kind of love that. Because it's its own entity in a sense. I mean, every show does it, but most shows you can jump right into and just listen. You wouldn't be hearing a fucking cat story for 10, 15 minutes at the beginning. I'm not trying to shit on that. It's just that's what that's what this has become. It's all encompassing.
It is great, but yeah, I do feel sorry for someone that tries to come in now and not knowing anything, and it's like, well.
Who's Brandon?
You know,
that's the only thing they'd be like, who the fuck is Brandon? Most of them, though, come from the shows that are being dropped right now when Brandon's still there. Like I said, it'll be 2 more episodes. And I think that would be the one that was the surprise, like 69, I think was the last one he was on officially. And 99 was the one that he came back for, right?
Are you
join
serious?
us.
No.
Yeah. It was a 30 episode gap. Yeah.
Okay.
169. Yeah, okay. 169 is what I meant.
That's what fucked me
169
up.
to 199. Yeah. 69.
We made it to 100 together. I know that. Okay. All right. I was gonna say.
Sorry, that's what I meant. 169.
Yeah. I should have realized.
Anyway, I cut you off. We were talking about Maxine. We took a quick break. Yeah.
I didn't even know. Well, I was talking about notifications. This fucking thing here. It's the only one I have on, and it's only for certain conversations. I mute everything. I don't have anything on this text. I don't have anything on fucking. I don't even have Facebook on my fucking. I have to go searching in another folder somewhere else to log onto it because I don't want to log onto the fucking thing. And even if I did have it, I don't have notifications. I don't want to know nothing from fucking nobody until I'm ready to fucking have a discussion because I can't. If I have a discussion with, and I do this all the time and I feel bad, I usually say to people on Messenger, I'm sorry I can't get back to you right away, or I went to bed, or this, or I'm doing at work now. I feel bad because they send messages, and then a lot of times people do that, and then I respond, and it doesn't matter what time I respond, they usually respond right back. So I feel like everybody else is fucking in love with their Messenger and discussions and notifications, and I'm the opposite. So I kind of feel like a dick when I do engage because I'm so sporadic about it. But I'm not trying to.
I'm worse than you.
I'm
worse than you. I'm very like yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning, I was on it, and there's a little, like not a long back and forth, but a back and forth between Dave Parker and I were going back because we're talking about Zombie because he loves Zombie, the 79 Lucio Fulci, right. and I'm like I like it. I'm not like blown away. Everybody blows it away, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. It's 7 out of 10. Like it's good. But I mean, I just tried to rewatch it because, again, we were on something that it was being blown a little bit. I think it might have been our top 200 show. And that makes sense. So I went back to see it, and it was just like, Back in the day, it was all about the gore.
I'm with you.
Like back into the eye piercing and all the munchings and this, that, and the other thing.
It takes too long to get there. It takes too long to get there, though. Where Dawn of the Dead, there's enough action in it that, I don't know, it's just different. It's just different. There's movies in the 70s. Just a lot of those movies have all that unnecessary dialogue. That's all there is to it. I just
Yeah.
can't get over
I
a lot of unnecessary dialogue. I cannot. I like the way movies are paced now more so than they were paced then. But it depends on the movie. Like Psycho is character driven and there's dialogue, and I'm glued to the screen. I guess see, there's a difference. That's what I'm saying. The dialogue in Psycho isn't meaningless. It's meaningful. If I see meaningless dialogue, it's like they're almost just trying to pad the running time or just have more
Mhm.
conversations. I just get bored of it and I just kind of fall out, and it just happens to me, and I
No,
can't explain it.
same with me. Now I don't get the meaningless. Not meaningless. I don't get the over use of dialogue in Zombie. Mine is that it's just that when they come in and there's those reports and you're on the
It moves
shores and
slow.
I'm like, what the fuck is this opening? Get to the fucking like it just and even when the zombie attacks and just like they look kind of odd and then I'm like whatever. But then that whole setup I don't like, kind of sluggish, but then it's fine. It works. It's decently enough paced throughout the rest. I'm not that attention deficit, but I have my moments. It's just
Right.
yeah, it doesn't. I just don't see it as a 10 out of 10 or a 5 out of 5 or whatever it may be. It just
No, not me
it's on the
either.
lesser end of Lucio Fulci for me. And I think JP mentioned about the atmosphere. Oh, it's dripping with atmosphere. I don't see it. Whereas like House by the Cemetery or the Beyond or whatever, I'd be like, holy shit, those in City of the Living Dead, those have like the drift with atmosphere, in my opinion.
I think JP was talking more about the other one that I compared it with, Serpent in the Rainbow. I
Oh,
think that I have an
oh,
issue with
really?
voodoo. I told him. I think the
Yeah.
whole voodoo zombie thing kind of bores me in the discussions that have to do with it, and I don't know why.
Anything
Because Serpent
voodoo.
in the Rainbow bores me too. This is
Well,
what I'm saying.
isn't it funny? The Serpent in the Rainbow, I was more intrigued. It freaked me out. I was more intrigued as a kid. And as I got older, it got boring for me. Is that the weirdest thing? It was a total flip for me. Whereas for some reason I was intrigued and kind of horrified by the imagery in that line, "Don't bury me, I'm not dead," or whatever it may be. And
Yeah.
uh the and that, but then when we did it for the show, it's like, yeah, I agree with you. It's like a little long in the tooth, for like a better word. I just find that voodoo is so ridiculous. It's something about voodoo I can't get on board with. That's why Child's Play irks me a little bit too, because the
Well, I
voodoo stuff is
it's
off the
fun.
fucking chart ridiculous. I don't find it fun. I find it
Okay.
stupid in that.
Well, let me explain the difference. What I'm saying is, okay, maybe it's not a fun topic, but I'm saying the voodoo that's portrayed in Child's Play is a more fun type of voodoo than the type of
Yeah.
voodoo that you
Well,
see in the
true.
other types. I'm
Yeah.
saying that's all.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
just
little slapstick
quicker.
voodoo.
Not
It's like
well, okay,
a
maybe not
subgenre of
slapstick.
voodoo.
It's just simplified. It's like, okay, this is the voodoo. Here's a couple chants. I have a doll and there's possession. It's really easy. I don't
Yeah.
need fucking 10 minutes of, well, did you know that Dr. Such and Such back in the 1800s has done something? That's like a conversation you'd have in Zombie or something. It's just
Yeah.
fucking too much for me. I don't need it. I don't need the
Dr.
history
Lipschitz,
of the fucking world in that.
part two.
I thought about him the other day.
Yeah.
So, son of a bitch. Anyway, Maxine, I saw those
Yeah.
pictures, right? And here's what I noticed: she didn't have the freckles on her face. So, is this a picture of Mia herself getting out of a car to do something else for some reason before she gets into that makeup? I kind of think not. I don't think that she would do that at home. Her blonde hair, like in those clothes, it would look to be something on the set. But she didn't appear to have all the freckles that they gave her in X. So now I'm a little bit curious about that. Of course,
I'm
maybe
wondering.
it's
Well, remember, we're wondering how she was going to get away from that because there is a movie, like they've got the footage, right? Like she didn't leave with the movie. So I'm assuming
right.
remember those police officers show up as the movie starts, and then we kind of and there's blood all over the place, and then we go back to actually see what led up to that. She hightails it out of Dodge, hightails it, and that film is there still.
So
So
she
they're
has to
going to be able,
alter.
they're going to probably connect the dots based on the fact that she's the preacher's daughter and that they've got this movie. I was wondering if the movie was going to come out and have made her a superstar or something like that. But then I'm like, but then how could she not be like tracked down and arrested then, or questioned, or whatever. So I'm very interested in seeing, is that the route it's taking, or is she on the lamb
I think she is.
of
I
God?
think that she alters her appearance, and this movie ends up being something like a Devil's Rejects in ways.
Yeah.
It's After
Well,
Effects.
I'm
You know?
I'm intrigued one way or the other, because both of those
Oh, they're
ranked
fucking.
right at the top of the list last year. So
Oh man.
I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm not disgruntled by this year. But I've nothing
Oh,
like
that.
Scream has been kind of the one that I've enjoyed the most so far, it seems. But there's been, some other ones that have been entertaining to watch, but I don't find it's like on par with last year yet. That's for sure. I
Oh
mean, I know
no,
we're only
not
in
for
April.
me.
We're only in April. You think this year's better?
No, I'm saying not for me. No, I'm saying that this year, the way I feel about this year is kind of like the way like other people felt about last year. That they were complaining about it, like Moods and
Yeah.
other people that
Last year was
didn't like
fine.
it. And
Yeah.
I agree, but this year I'm feeling kind of like what they were saying about last year. That I'm not. Nothing is really stuck out. Now, Evil Dead Rise today might be that movie that sticks out after I see it. I don't know. I do have one that I'm going to save, and you'd be surprised at what it is. But I do have one movie ranked higher than the others, and you're going to be surprised at what it is when the time comes. It's obviously going to make the list, the 10 for
Well,
sure, based upon what it is. The rating, I mean, the number. But it's like nothing else has
but I
really.
agree with you. I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scream 6 is actually I'll tell you if you consider missing a horror movie, which I don't even know most people would. I just sort of bunched it into that genre, but I could, it probably won't actually make the list, because I think it's definitely thriller. But we'll argue that later in the year. That actually stood out for me. I couldn't believe how much I enjoyed that movie. And Missing and Scream. But then, like, the Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, yeah.
Winnie the Pooh, I didn't think was a pile of shit like a lot of people said, but definitely wasn't great. It was a passable slasher that had its moments and some decent kills. Done. It was a great. Knock at the Cabin was I really liked as well, but it was just good. It was just good. Infinity Pool, I liked up to a certain point, and I didn't like the end, the second half, as much, when it got trippy and weird. And then, of course, Mia Goth goes all like crazy. I actually, it took me, I know you like that. That's what took me out a little bit. I got to rewatch that. I will rewatch that before the end of the year, because I'm thinking about it. I do like some of the elements. So that's why I'm thinking it's intriguing me for a rewatch. So that's positive. But everything else has just been good, like Sick, Candyland, Megan, good. And then like Skinamarink garbage in my eyes. There's something wrong with The Children was good, actually. I like that one, but just good.
Buddy, I have 2 8s.
My skirt up.
I have 2 8s and a 9, and that's it. That's all I have. I don't have much going on here.
Scream is probably my favorite of the year, with Missing being right there. But again, whether Missing will be on the top 23 list, horror list, we'll see.
No, not for me, but I really enjoyed Missing, the same way I really enjoyed Searching. But both very good movies, for sure. Sure, I just don't consider horror, but so be it.
I think I would agree. I don't think, to be honest, I think I just popped it in there, but it's a thriller. Like, I don't think there's even a question of it, to be honest.
Now there's another one. Okay, so back to the Mia thing in Infinity Pool. Did you think that was her character annoying you in the second half with the way she was talking to James and the things she was doing? I could see that, but to me, that's
when she started screaming at the end, I was just
I
like,
love it. James,
I knew you
baby. I think it's great because it's acting. It's her. I just love it. But I can understand.
There's intrigue. There's intrigue with the thematic elements, but mostly like that, the story elements of what happens, what they have to go through, and sort of like how that's in a sense become a drug, or something that they want to almost repeat.
I'm going to ask you a question about that movie. Do you think that the moral of the story, when we get to what we get to, why do you think somebody stays where they're at? Are they staying where they're at because they want to be involved in that lifestyle as often as they can? Or are they staying there because they're waiting for Mia to come back and they can hang out with her even for a short time again?
I've got to watch it again, but based on
Okay.
what I'm thinking you're getting at, I think it's the form. I think it's the first one. I think it's just that they like it.
I don't think he could afford it though now. He's got nothing. I think it's all about he's obsessed with Mia and he wants fucking more. Maybe that's just me because of my obsession.
Well, maybe when I
don't know.
rewatch it, yeah, maybe. But maybe that. But you're right. But that your obsession is kind of what they're getting at and what her character's all about. I've hit this fucking mic more times than not this show. I'm sorry, everybody. But anyway, I will when I rewatch it, which won't. I'll save that for closer to the end of the year. I think closer to the end date, just to see, because I would have thought it wouldn't have even come close. But I keep thinking about the damn movie. So that's got to mean something, right? When you think about it again, and I want to go back and watch it, which if I didn't really give a fuck, I would, like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I don't have to go back and watch, but I actually want you to see that movie, Dave. I just don't understand why they honestly were just, obviously we know they're just cashing in on the Winnie the Pooh thing. I don't even think they play off of it well enough. That's the biggest problem with that movie. They don't play off the Winnie the Pooh element near enough.
Well, they don't have to, because it's like making an Amityville movie. They just think that the title is gonna fucking sell it. That you put Amityville in there.
No, but they're in it. I just don't think it's just have you watched it?
No, but I think maybe the only way I'll watch it is on a Friday night with the guys. You know, I'll have a little buzz on. It might be some fun.
At least there's gore. There's gore. There's some good kills.
Yeah.
It's not it's got a good opening. Like they took their time. I think that's what I think one of the strength was that even to try to help defy its lower budget, they had like an artist come in and sketch the beginning, and that gave it a feeling of a little bit more production value. Excuse me. And like the costumes are kind of bizarre. It's literally just
they look bad.
Grown men in masks, but a little bit of an animatronic mask, but it is kind of silly and cheap looking, but there's some decent enough kills. I feel like it just never, some slashers just don't need to go to another level. And I think that this is exactly one you just like maybe would be a bit different, but literally other than it being a guy in a Winnie the Pooh, it's not a guy in the Winnie the Pooh mask. It is Winnie the Pooh, but in reality, it's a guy in a Winnie the Pooh mask. Don't let that deter you too much, because I think there's still enough slasher goodness to be at least watchable, and enjoyable will be relative. I feel like you'll be a 6 or 6.5 out of 10. That's what I think you'll be.
Now I won't be surprised. I just hope I just have a good time with it, and that's it. Maybe I can laugh at it, and and get some good gore out of it and whatnot. So I mean,
and I think they played straight, which might be, I don't know if that's a positive or it might be its downfall. I don't know.
I'd rather them play it straight.
Well,
I don't want to see them going for good. That's fine. I bet I'm going to laugh at something about it anyway. So that's good enough for me to get my fucking jollies. That's what I'm saying. I'd rather you try to play it straight and I can laugh at fucking how bad your efforts are, as opposed to fucking trying to not play it straight and try to be funny. And as a result, I look at them like, you're fucking trying too hard, which is what usually happens with me. See, I don't know. And I don't know if I'm alone in that. I sometimes I feel like I am, but then again, when I watch things with the gang, they're the same way. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like Psycho Gorman and shit like that, and other movies that have come out.
I knew you were going to
Strangler.
That up.
That try
this
too
is not
hard.
Psycho Gorman. Like you'd figure this is going to the Psycho Gorman route, but it doesn't actually.
Like I don't want it to. That's I don't need them to try so fucking hard.
But I'm not even
I would
trying to
rather
hype
them.
It's a run-of-the-mill slasher. That, like, to be honest, but maybe
that's
with
fine.
enough standards, it doesn't overstay its welcome.
That's always a positive.
So, but it'll be interesting. It's not. Trust me, I'm not trying to overhype it. I'm very middling on it. It's not even it would be like a mild rumble. You know what I mean? Like in that realm.
Oh, look, I did watch this movie. Motherfucker.
Which
I
movie?
just looked at something, The Offering. I just looked at something that I thought I was wishy-washy on for the longest time, based on the cover and my game and everything else and the things I do with the research,
Well,
that
from
I
the
was like, I'm gonna
80s? The Offering?
no,
Or
it's
is there something else?
2023. No, this year. And,
Didn't know.
right, so it's been around and I've been seeing it, and sometimes I get bored and I really want to watch a new movie, so I just kind of settle. And that was the one I settled on, but I forgot that I settled on it. And people have been talking about it recently. Maybe it came to a streaming service, and I've been saying, yeah, this one I've been holding out for. And then someone said, this and that. I go, yeah, I kind of figured it was not going to be good. Then I look now and I watch it. I gave it a 6, and I can't even remember what the fuck it was. I don't know if I have any. I have no notes either. Oh,
Yeah,
there it
Welcome
is.
to my.
Speaker
That's
of
it.
Children. A Life for Your Wife. Oh, wait a minute. They had an interesting start, but yeah, they had a good start, but cool ending, but still a 6 out of 10. So I did end up watching that movie, but whatever. It's just been a weird year. I'm waiting for something to come out of nowhere. That's what we haven't had yet. We haven't had one of those direct, or the movies that pop up on a streaming service and all of a sudden everybody's talking about it. We've had those movies. Sick came up on a streaming service, Candyland. Other movies have come up, but we haven't had that real banger.
But think about what's coming still. Like, I mean, Scream 6 was way better than I expected. I'm really looking forward to Evil Dead Rise. I didn't see Renfield yet either. And we still have, I think, Saw's coming out, which I'm always open to. I'm open
Is
to
that
it.
this
Like,
year?
I believe so. It's been filmed, so I believe this is Saw 10 year, and there's also Thanksgiving that was going to be out for American Thanksgiving. So we've got
I'm not
some,
excited about
and
them.
see, I am. I'm open to them. I'm looking forward to them. So I guess excitement is there. And again, there's others, but there's still more to come, but I just don't.
Of course,
right now, it's going to be difficult. There always is. We're, like I said, we're only coming up to the end of April. And we always say this, and then there ends up being a ton of movies before the end of the year.
And I always say that too, but this year it seems different to me. It just seems drabber. I can't explain the feel I get, and I'm always the guy that always tells everybody else, "Oh, just wait. The third and fourth quarter are always the best parts of the year." But I still just, I don't know. Maybe it's just a gut feeling that I have. I just feel this. It's going to end up ultimately being that year. But here's the thing: I'm not even mad about it, because we've had such a great run since like 2013, 2014. This has been a great run. Now, I don't think since 2020 it's been as strong as the teen years were, but that's okay, because when you look at the stretch between the 70s and the 80s, that wasn't that long either. It only goes so far. So it's like, did anybody really expect us to have that much quality horror year after year? Just like all of a sudden the genre just got that much better and it's going to stay that way? I think it's a great positive spin. I just don't find it,
Well, think of the content too. Like, when you actually go back and we're doing those shows and you're diving deep, like into, like, when you're saying 1980 and you're like, holy shit, when you actually dive deep, you realize you've seen the good ones. We all know the good horror movies. There might be
for the most
here and there that squeak by, or you forgot or whatever. But when you look at the actual amount, the sheer like volume of movies, it's like there's so many more now, because anybody can kind of make one. Anybody can make one back in the day, but you had to have a budget. You had to have some money. You had to have something, and you had to shoot it on film and whatever it may be. Right. Now you can literally grab your phone and with a bit of talent, make a movie.
Right.
Whether that's good or bad, that's the reality of the situation. So there's so many more films coming out. Yeah, that's exactly it. And we've got some good ones that have managed to be able to transcend, whether it be laptop horror or found footage, whatever it may be, or just a regular, old school movie shot digitally, because everything for the most part is shot digitally now.
This is true.
For the most part.
I got to tell you, the found footage this year hasn't really been doing anything for me either. And other people are talking about this movie and that, and I'm just not into it. Even the follow up to Horror in the High Desert, which I was really looking forward to, kind of let me down. I give it a 6.5. The second, and I was really into the first one. It was a 7.5, but I really loved the presentation and the climax of that film. This movie was fine, but it just wasn't along the same line. And then there was something else that came out that I kind of already knew not to watch it. Outpost, Outwaters, some shit. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it
I don't know.
came to Shudder, didn't it not?
Maybe.
Outwaters.
I don't know. Bottom line is I
Way
skipped
back when.
it because it didn't pass my test. But I heard it was found footage after. I'm like, oh well, there you go. It's
You might just have to, because you're a found footage completist. Again, Chris A.K.A. Scott watched it. I don't even know if he said he ended up getting through it or not, but it was a task. I don't think he ended up enjoying it overall.
No, see, all I see is bad fucking shit on there, so I'm not gonna be the one. I'm not doing it. So I think that these found footage flicks, there's a lot more. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe we're coming to an end with that too. Although the laptop stuff is good. Like, for example, it's a thriller, but whatever, Missing, right, or Searching. I'm gonna call them. I don't know, but the way that was done was really good. So maybe I don't know. I mean, January, February, March, April. It is only the first third. I just am not getting the feel. I'm not seeing you. Even in the other years when it started slow, there were still one or two movies that I just kind of, I don't know, that I saw early that were gonna make my list for sure. And I do have one right now, but it's an uncommon one, and I don't know. I just don't get the feel. It's odd. Usually I'm the positive one about it. So I just say, I just got that feeling that things are going to crash a little more. But hey, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, yeah,
but it's
maybe.
not terrible.
I just give me a quick synopsis when you see Evil Dead Rise. I have a feeling, so I have to go again. There's an event that I have to be at for work later this week, but I have to go to Ottawa a bit earlier. And with some of the downtime that I might have, I might go just see Evil Dead Rise by myself.
That's okay.
Because I want to see it in the theater. I don't want it to disappear. I don't have a problem seeing it by myself. It's been a while. I think it was The Invisible Man. I saw The Invisible Man and The Boy 2 right before COVID hit in Ottawa, because I was traveling out in Ottawa. And I went and I watched both of those because I wanted to check them out before they left, and I thought that would be my biggest chance. So all comes full circle. Here we go.
I forgot.
Do you want to jump into the movies? We got 2 movies tonight.
Yeah, we got 2. We got them.
You want to? Was there anything else you want to talk about before?
I don't think so. No, I mean nothing that's important. We should do the movies, and then if we have time, we have time. But we should be okay. All
right. Well, let me jump into our first one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at him. That's fucking sweet.
Huh? Ooh, that's what I've been working on. Okay.
Looks like a cat. See the cat behind you in the tree? See?
Yeah, what is that? I think it's just a tree.
See those 2 eyes? Yeah, looks like a cat to me, though. Got lucky on the brain over here.
All right, The Wolfman, 1941. Larry Talbot returns to his father's castle in Wales and meets a beautiful woman. One fearful night, Talbot escorts her to a local carnival where they meet a mysterious gypsy fortune teller. And it's directed by George Wagner and written by Kurt Stodmak. I probably butchered that last name, but there you go. The Wolfman. Not the first werewolf movie, but probably one of the most popular ones.
What is the first werewolf movie? Do you know? Don't even know, huh?
Okay. Well, I can look it up right now.
Since you said that, I thought maybe you had.
I thought it was called Werewolf. I thought there was a silent one called just Werewolf or something like that. Let me see.
Oh, yeah.
First.
That's funny though.
Movie.
Because I used to call this one
The Werewolf. The Werewolf, 1913 silent film directed by Henry McRae.
Huh. The Werewolf, huh? That's funny because there was times that I referred to this movie as The Werewolf, just because it's such a common name. The Wolfman, the Werewolf. It's, you know what I mean? It's a very common name. But the funny thing is, you don't really see the wolf man anywhere else but here. Like, I mean, there's no other movies with wolf man in the title. You know what I'm saying? Like the word werewolf is fucking
Yeah.
everywhere, right? But the
And
wolf
Werewolf of
man,
London. Werewolf of London
right.
came out before too. That was most of the feature length ones. I don't know if the silent film one was feature length or not, but just
What is
for
with werewolves in London? What is that whole fucking is that whole gimmick started because of a movie that was once called Werewolf in London way back
I
when?
would assume so. I think that was just John Landis's like attempt to inject, like he was already going to do like the Travelers. Why not have that? It's a callback to some of the old werewolf stuff. So why not? But you're right.
Right.
The
But there's that
Wolfman.
song. You know that song? Ah, woo, werewolves of London. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because of the movie, no question.
Was that before the movie or after? I don't know about that.
Oh, because I just told you there was one from way back when called Werewolf of London.
I'm talking
right?
about the song, though. I said
Oh,
the
there's no way.
song, "Werewolves of London." What is that? Who sings that? Warren Zevon or something? Ah, ooh, werewolves of London. You know?
Well, if that song
Yeah,
came out
Zevon.
probably in the 70s or 80s, right?
1978. See, so that what I'm saying. What is the fucking deal about Werewolves of London? A
Well,
song
but
even comes out.
there was a movie that I just told you about.
I
from
know that, but is
1935. Okay.
is that known? Is that a real known movie? Werewolves in London?
I mean,
It's
I
just-
knew of it. I just didn't
Oh,
know.
did you?
To be honest, I just didn't know of the time frame of when it came out versus the Wolfman until I just looked at it right now. I just remembered there was a silent movie. That was what I recalled. But
Okay.
just like there's a movie called White Zombie with Bela Lugosi.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but and then there was a band called White Zombie, and Rob Zombie comes out of it. Isn't that some shit?
Here,
The guy's name is Rob Zombie for fucking all these years because of White Zombie back in the day, in the fucking early 80s and shit when that band is formed. Doesn't
Look,
happen a lot.
I'm doing this
Oh,
whole thing. I'm doing this
It's
whole thing.
great.
It's gonna be. I'm in black and white as we're talking about the werewolf.
Can I be black and white?
Yes, you
Can I
can
be
be black and white.
Or
Click it.
horror noir?
Just click the
Okay.
damn button. There you go.
I did.
We're
Am I
both.
good?
We managed to do it. We're old, but not too
Black
old.
and white. Right. How about that? Black and white action. That's
Black
kind of
and
cool.
white for the
Werewolves of
Wolfman.
London. And speaking of that, Rob Zombie, Glenn Danzig's always been the same, but that's like a regular name. So I'm just
Yeah.
it was just weird. And speaking of Danzig, or pardon me, the Misfits was the only band that I played Frankie when remember I told her I was going to show her this band and this band and this band and this band. It was the only one that I played where she said she liked it, but not as much as the others. And I think it was a bit of a gamble to begin with because Glenn Danzig's singing is nothing like those metal bands are, like SOD
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Anthrax
yeah.
and fucking Slayer but I played punk too. But I put in Sex Pistols and she liked that. But I had a feeling it was a little bit of a gamble with the Misfits. But either way,
Oh well.
I was
Hey,
thinking
so
about
I mean, every time they say it like 3 times in this movie, but even a man who is pure in heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the moon is full and bright. I love that. I love
It's
it.
great.
They say it like 3 times in the fucking movie. The movie's only an hour and like what 10 minutes long.
that. Uh-huh.
But you got atmosphere here. JP was talking about zombie having atmosphere or Serpent in the Rainbow. I don't know which one.
Mhm.
He was talking about something having atmosphere. This movie's got atmosphere. You can see the picture behind. I love that, like the marsh.
Oh,
I mean, Silver Bullet took right out of the picture that's behind me, and right from this movie where you've got like the trees, and those are cool, and then you got like just the mist kind of lining the ground.
yeah, man.
So it's really cool. Faster paced. We talked about Frankenstein, I think, in passing when we were talking about the 200 best movies, and I
Right.
like all the movies. I like Dracula. I like Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. I like them all. I like this movie. They're all
Mhm.
8 out of 10s, in my opinion. I'm not trying to blow my load here. I'm just saying they're all good. But I went out of my way to put them on. I said, I owe these a rewatch. I think based on talking about or that the 100 show or the 200 show was coming up, or because we were recording it, and I felt like, I do owe these rewatches just because it's been a long time. And they're still quite enjoyable, but I couldn't show my kids these. They'd be bored. I know they would be. and I won't
Yeah.
pick them up out of the blue, and that's the difference. It's just the reality of it. But this fucking movie's 80 years old, 82 years old or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
there's that. You've got to just realize there's that. So it's almost like if you're a horror fan and these are blind spots, go in knowing that they're in black and white and that they're going to be a little bit slower, even though the running time really kind of offsets it because they're usually only an hour and 10, an hour and 15 minutes. But try to, I mean, I like all we could do is suggest to check them out because this is where a lot of the shit that we're watching today stems from
Right.
these classic monster movies.
That's what it is. It's for purists, but some people, you know, love them just as much as anything modern, and that's cool too.
For sure.
And like you, I've tried. I do watch them all. I really enjoy this one though, to be honest, more than the others. Actually, I think it's paced well. I like the story. I like the character of Larry Talbot and what's going on here, and it clicks along, and it's very easy. It's easily digested. It's just it moves the right way, and we get what we want to see. And I like the effects, to be honest with you.
Well, they were good. I mean, yeah, you're talking about dissolves, which were used pretty much, but the makeup effects were great, and the Wolfman looks cool. I mean, it can look silly to some, but again, based on the movie, based on the timing, I've always looked at it. Like I said, I think the Wolfman offshoots are my favorite. So although I respect Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, of course, Dracula, like I love vampires, I love them all. The Wolfman is faster paced, and I told you, I think out of all of them, I think Frankenstein meets the Wolfman is my favorite of the Universal ones because it just kind of combines it. Something about the werewolves and Wolfman like that I love, and why Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein is great because it's not just Frankenstein, it's all of them. So I agree with you. I think it's just more digestible, and in later years, that's why I liked American Werewolf in London. The Howling, Silver Bullet. I mean, these just resonated with me. Something of wolf and man, and I guess the thematic elements. Whether you're talking about duality or whatever, if we really want to deep dive, or just the beast in us all and all that shit. So be it. You could look at it from that aspect and do a massive deep dive of what it means and what they're trying to say. And just from an entertainment piece, you can enjoy it for the fact that it's a faster paced monster movie.
Well, what I like about the whole lycanthropy thing, which you don't get in Frankenstein or Dracula or things like that, is that it leads to the conversations between him and his father, where he's like, I believe that somebody can feel that they take on the characteristics of this mythical beast, this werewolf, but it's really all in your head. You can't really do that with a vampire or a Frankenstein monster or anything else, honestly. So that's one thing about werewolfism, lycanthropy, I should say, that separates itself from the others. You're not always the wolf. You're only the werewolf certain times. Of course, each movie has its own mythology and whatnot, and I'll never understand how.
But Silver always seems to carry through, right? And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong. I pointing the finger at you, Jamie, and just from her love of the subgenre. But I believe this is the movie that introduced it. I believe.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Silver being the part of the mythos or lore. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive it was this one.
If it's not, you got to watch Werewolves of London or The Werewolf. That's your go-to. Was this based on any type of fiction, like a book or anything like that? Probably not.
I didn't. I probably should.
Yeah, you know why I said that?
I don't think so.
No, I'm thinking of Dracula and Frankenstein, how they were based on books. But probably not here. Yeah. So
and again, some of that may have carried over because I think Dracula, there was some mention, again, I'm going back in a memory, whatever, of silver being something that would have put Dracula off. And I remember saying like silver. Well, that's werewolves and whatever. But no, I think there was some connection to like that silver could have had something to do with it. But that kind of, because that became a werewolf thing, it seems like modern horror, it's forgotten about that, and they stick to the wooden stakes or decapitation and whatnot.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure at garlic or whatever, but I'm pretty sure there was an element of silver back in the day there. And I think maybe because the Wolfman made that his, that's why.
Maybe.
Like, and again, I'm spitballing here. Don't take this for fact. It's just my memory going by what I see based on the evolution of the monster movie and whatnot. But these are the original Freddy and Jasons. And it's funny how these are beloved and critically acclaimed back in the day. And yet the 80s offshoots were totally maligned. But it was just,
Well, I'll
it's
tell you
funny.
why. Because you don't have teenagers as the people, as the antagonist or the protagonist. That's what it is. They're more adult oriented, where it's very easy to dismiss a teenage slasher flick as just fucking trifle shit. You know, that's what it is. Seriously.
I mean, because they're more important with the body count. I get it. We've heard the criticisms and
they're real actors.
Yeah.
These are real actors in these movies, as opposed to Heather Langenkamp at the time and Johnny Depp, who's new, and whoever they are. You know what I'm saying? Adrian King and Amy Steele and everybody. Who the fuck are these people? They're a bunch of unknowns at the time. We're putting them in a movie. Now this movie, you know, you have Lon Chaney Jr. in here, and you have fucking Lugosi. All right? So, I mean, Lugosi himself was a name.
Bella.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And here's something weird. I used to see the flashback of this scene when he's reading the palm and he's talking about it, and he goes, the right hand and the left hand is the future and one's the past. And I used to think that was Vincent Price, because he looks a little bit like Vincent Price in this movie, I think. I don't know why, but when I was a kid, I go, that must be Vincent Price. But obviously it's fucking Bela Lugosi. But I like his part, and I like the fact, this is what's cool about this movie. And I don't know if this is all werewolf stuff. I just know what the Wolfman did here. You see the fucking pentagram in the hand of who's going to be your next victim. That is cool. That is a cool element, especially if it's someone you don't want to kill. Not that you want to kill anybody, but you know.
It'd be CG. Did you see it? You'd see it burn in, and it's fine because that's evolution of technology. And that's probably, they would have probably loved to have done it there too. There, it's literally a projection on the hand, but I'll take it. It looks better. Right. It's good. And that's the thing. You're talking about the actors. First off, when Lon Chaney came in to see his dad, I'm like, they look about the same age. That's the
dude, that's what was bugging me the whole movie. I'm like, is this his son or is it not? Right. It was bugging me the fuck out. Because then he called him lad. And I'm like, but then they said Master
And Lon Chaney's 6'3", and he's towering over the dad character. But I let it go. And then
I know
you get that introduction there. I liked how he comes home and sets up the telescope for his dad, and that's how he sees the girl. And then sort of is instantly intrigued. But the carnival sequence, I guess it's because there's lines that I love repeating, and I've repeated them on the show already. The go now, and heaven help you. That line I've said before in the show. I love it. I love her. Whoa, fuck me. Here we go again. But that whole thing, you don't think I know the difference between a wolf and a man? Everything is quotable in that whole sequence there, between the gypsy woman and Bella and everything else, and how Bella gets. Like the attack sequence, they did a good job because they knew their limitations. I feel like they filmed around it quite well.
Except it looked like a dog to me. When I watched the movie, it wasn't big enough.
Well, I think they wanted to differentiate it. It was like he turned almost into a wolf, but because of him being affected, because otherwise, why wouldn't they have kept the same monster? Because when he turns into a wolf, he literally is a wolf man, like a hairy version of us.
True.
Whereas that is a wolf.
You're
So I
right.
think that was the differentiation. So I was okay with that. But you're right.
Never
He does
thought
look
about
like the
that.
Bella god is a wolf, or in this case, they probably, like you said, used a dog.
Yeah, it's too
But
small. They should have used a bigger dog or something. And I know what they did when
yeah,
they showed him struggling with it. You could tell they did the best they can. It was something they constructed. But I'm not hating it. They did the same thing
yeah,
in fucking in Suspiria. You know what I mean? With the eating out of the neck. But I'm just saying, I just wish they would have made it look. To me, it looked like a dog. I didn't
yeah.
get wolf out of that. They should have at least put a fucking costume on the dog or something to make it look bigger. You know,
I
why
get you.
not? A
I hear
costume
you.
on the dog.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't have to do
Like
much movement. You
that
set the
other
dog
movie.
there.
What was
You
that
zip it
other
up.
movie that they made them look like giant rats? Those dogs. I can't remember now, but
Oh, what,
yeah.
Food of the Gods or something? I
No,
don't
no,
know.
it was later. It was.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's on the tip of my. It's become available now, like everything has, but it was like lost. It was like a lost. The Boogans, I think it was,
The Boogans. Okay.
or
Maybe.
something to that effect. Anyway,
The
fuck
Boogie
it.
Man. Yeah.
And it's this is not flawless, but it's more. I guess the 10 years after Dracula and Frankenstein or whatever like that, the pace had changed. Like you had a
Yeah,
decade of
dude.
movies now. So
Agreed.
I think that already helps it. There's less of that silent audio track, because
Yes.
again, they were in a transition there. It's understandable of why those other movies felt more stage play like. And although this one has sets, it feels more like a movie. You feel like you're on locations in some cases and sets, as opposed and the atmosphere that they create change the sets to make it more cinematic. Whereas the other ones literally looked like you're on a stage and the cameras still cut. There's more movement. There's more cinema here comparatively.
100%.
And I'm not trying to
Yes.
shit on it. It's just more enjoyable.
No,
So
dude. Hey.
it makes the movie move more quickly.
That's probably one of the reasons I like him more than those ones. Simple as that. It's just an easy
Yeah.
enough story to follow. I like when he goes in and he meets the girl and he's flirting with her, and then she tries to give him the thing and says, this cane here has a little dog on it. He goes, that suits you. So I'm like, oh yeah, she's calling him a dog. You know what I mean? And he's trying to I dig his fucking vibe. I dig the way he flirts with her and how straightforward he is, because that's kind of the way I would be. And I like that, and it's cool to see. And then they come back later, and she still comes, but she brings her friend, so it's kind of cute. And
But
then they
isn't
go
it
out and they do that
interesting
thing.
that you just brought up the dog thing? Like if they did that nowadays, you'd be like, it's too on the nose. But this is like, considering it's one of the first werewolf movies, maybe two before, to insert that into kind of the dialogue, or that was the dialogue, or is that just was your take on it that he was
No,
acting
no,
like a dog?
no. Well,
I
that's
can't.
my take on it. But no,
Okay,
she says
yeah.
it suits you, though. She says it suits you, the little dog. It was the
Yeah.
first one, and you know what
Yeah.
I mean. She goes, and it
Well,
kind of suits
drawing
you.
parallels in the script. I mean, that's a good
Yes.
script, especially this
Yeah,
early in the
man.
game. Sorry for cutting you off. I'm just adding to it
No.
because I think that's a great element.
And then they go and they go and they see Bella, and they do the whole fucking thing, her and the friends, and the girl does her thing. And of course, he slyly says, we didn't come here to listen to her thing, did we? Let's go over here on our own. And that's cool. And I love the setup with fucking the gypsies and them. I was kind of hoping to see Kari Wurer, because every time I think about traveling gypsies and something like that, I think about fucking Thinner and her being my favorite part of the whole thing. Oh, I love you, Kari. And so I'm thinking about her, but I do love the old gypsy woman as a character. She's cool. And what we see later is great. And then when we get the attack here, and we find out that there's attack, and the dog that looks like a wolf, or the wolf that looks like a dog. And then all of a sudden, I write this down because it looked to me like right after the attack that they were about to hightail it out of there. But they didn't. But I didn't know what was going on. But later on in the movie, when they find out when they know that fucking Larry Talbot's the wolf and some shit's going to happen, and they're all outside bugging, they really do. Excuse me. That is when they are hightailing it out of there. Yeah. And they go, what's going on here? Where are you going? They're getting the fuck out. I think it's great.
It's funny about these movies back in the day is like they really just end. Like Just
Love
like
that.
we were talking about the Argento film last show. It's like done, the end, get the fuck out.
Why not? What else do you have to do? Your lead character is dead. Nothing else needs to be said after that. Correct?
No.
It's a tragic story.
Again, going by just, I hate when I listen back to this and I keep hearing again. Sorry, everybody. It's, I guess, one of my things that I do instead of
Again.
I just say again. They, back in the day, didn't the movies just recycle, like keep playing? Like there wasn't a set showtime. Like you didn't go, I'm going to go see the 7:00 show. It'd just be like the Wolfbane's playing. You walked in, and if you happen to catch it, you get some cartoons, a newsreel, and then the Wolfman movie would play, and then it would just recycle over. So you might walk in the middle of the movie.
Really?
Which seems weird, but I believe that was it. Because isn't that the whole marketing ploy when cycles start, that no one will be admitted after the start of the show, that it was going to be. So it seems odd that would be the case. Maybe you would just time it to say, no, I want to see this from the beginning. And maybe I have this all wrong. Again, I'm giving a lot of the listeners a reason to chime in. I always say chime in, and they do, but not nearly, but never about the stuff that we're talking. It seems to be about other things that we talked about, and not these answers in general or specifically anyway. But that's what I thought was the thing. I thought I'm going by memory of what my dad told me. Your dad just sort of said it as well. When I was like, you paid a dime, you went in to watch a film.
I want to find out now. Son of a bitch. If I knew where he was, I'd call him and ask him if that was the case.
If I was still in touch with my dad, I don't even know if there's my dad's friend still lives, because once my dad passed away, I don't know. He was the guy, he was into horror movies, and he would drag my dad. My dad hated horror. I remember he loved Hitchcock, but he hated horror.
Right.
And this guy used to drag him to Bucket of Blood and everything else. Like he'd drag him to all those movies. Nice. And so his name's Joe. And if he would be, I would love to have him on this show. He's a character. He's the one that asked for a doggy bag at my dad's funeral.
I was going to say, was he the guy that took the food at the funeral?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. What are the chances? That's the first thing I thought of when he said your dad's friend. I go, wait a minute. That was my next question. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I lent him like 3 movies, and I never got them back. And I feel like it was the Toxic Avenger, the uncut video case, and Gore Horror, which was given to me. That was a weird, like, direct-to-video type movie. And I can't even remember the third one now, but I never got them back.
Well, now you got a reason to get a hold of them. You want your video?
Hey, I want my movies back. I want my VHS back from back in the day.
Yeah, and by the way, hop on the show one time. That would be funny. I'll bring my dad.
If I mentioned it, he was like, he would hit the piano, and this guy could just play like jazz, like, and he just spitball it on the piano. He was like one of those gifted type musicians and whatever. And he used to screen. He would have a 16mm projector. He would get film prints and screen them in his house. Like he was Tarantino before Tarantino.
Right. That's pretty sweet, man. Wow. Wish I could do that. That'd be great. Man, but yeah,
so
I love the
him
gypsy
a doggy
woman.
Bag and then you'll come on the show. Sorry, getting back to this. Yeah,
back to the flick. I love the gypsy woman and how she warns them, and she talks to the priest, and she says, and I love that whole idea about death is a celebration. She was, even if I wanted to change it, I couldn't. That's the way we do, and that's how it should be. When someone passes away, that's what the fuck I want. A fucking party.
Yeah,
fuck all that somber shit.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's
whatever.
where they started with the celebration of life and whatnot. Let's change it from sad to a gathering of the memory, and that they're in a better place, one way or the other.
Yeah,
they definitely don't have to be dealing with fucking social media and trigger effects and all this shit. So it's a better place.
Yeah, and nobody wants to see a funeral parlor on social media. I don't want to see your live videos of a fucking wake. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. You know,
I'm gonna do a live feed from inside the coffin of me when I'm dead.
A dead feed. Give that to me.
A dead feed. Dead stream. That would be
See, that's what I'll do. I'll tell them, put me in a fucking coffin. I don't want to be in a coffin, but for that effect, I think I would like to go out like a fucking G. There you go. Live from the coffin. People would be pissed the fuck off, wouldn't they? Oh my God. But hey.
Yeah.
I was just bitching about it, but that would be
Please bury me. I'm not dead.
Please bury me. I am dead,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Well,
Just
I'm
hit the
thinking of
phone.
going out. I think I just call it a day and just bury me alive.
That'd be a video, huh? Claustrophobia video. Fuck with
Yeah.
people. That might be something to do.
I can't breathe in here. I think my minutes are numbered. My minutes.
Wow, my minutes are numbered. That's great. Oh, that's funny.
My
It's supposed to
minutes
be your what is the expression? Your time is
I
numbered.
don't
Or
fucking know. It makes no sense, but
your
dead
days are
feed.
numbered. Days
Dead
are numbered.
feed.
That's what they
Yeah.
say.
Well,
Dead feed.
yeah, that oxygen just lower me in. They'll be like, above cam, and then we'll have in coffin cam.
Nice.
We'll pass
So
that
about the
bill.
Wolfman.
Yeah,
About the
I'm sorry.
Wolfman. No, I'm just trying to keep us on, on
Yeah,
track.
I realize the time.
I think that it's funny when they go to the place, they go to the carnival. They're such good shots. Nobody misses the fucking shot. The only time he misses a shot is when
It's
he
when
gets
it's
bugged out by the wolf. Otherwise,
Yeah.
who the fuck is this? The Lone Ranger and fucking what's that guy? General fucking whoever the fuck.
What was it? Wasn't it a dick swinging contest? Wasn't it between the guy that she
Kind
was
of.
supposed to marry and
Yeah,
the new
yeah.
guy? I think that's exactly what was going on here. It was like, like
Yep.
that's an easy shot. He shoots it almost like you, like it was like I'm a better man than you in a sense. Like
Right.
their aim and whatever was like the measure of a man.
Right. What are you gonna do? Sometimes it is your aim.
Yeah.
Don't get pregnant. Watch where you shoot that fucking thing.
That's what it was.
So Anyway, I like how there's covering of the tracks and stuff and what's going on there, and he goes out there and he tries to hide it, and how he walks on his hind legs. So it's just like it looks like that's why it looks like a wolf's fucking. They explain that, and it's cool, but it just never occurred to me till just now that the other wolf was fucking whatever you call it on all fours, and fucking Wolfman's bipedal. Weird, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's the same.
Yeah,
wolf.
it's like they combined it. Well, no, that's
Never
why I'm
thought of
thinking
it.
it's not. I thought maybe that was it. Bella was like, not the original, but possibly of a strain. But his bite caused this this actual to happen to him. But I liked it. I mean, and Lon Chaney is great. I heard.
Yeah.
I heard he had problems because he suffered from being in his
Yeah.
father's shadow or whatever, and had all these alcohol problems. But you would never
Yeah.
know it from this
Sad.
one. I thought it was a great portrayal, and even 7 years later in the Abbott and Costello movie that I just watched right after, that
Right.
he was great in that too.
I agree. No, he is great. I love his character. He does a great job, and all the acting's pretty solid. And I actually like the fucking makeup effects. I like the look of them, of the Wolfman when we get him, and
Absolutely.
I'm okay with the dissolve. To me, it doesn't look any worse.
It was a
All these years
transition.
later, dude, fucking CGI. A lot of it
Oh.
looks like fucking shit. I would
We're
rather
gonna-
watch somebody run around with fucking makeup on and a fur mask than someone where the actor has to pretend somebody's fucking there and they're not there at all. It just doesn't do it for me.
Or they don't show you the transformation or whatever. Like at least this is what they're
Right.
trying to do at the time with the means that they had, and it was makeup effects. They just had to use in camera or dissolve effects to get you from stage 1, 2, and 3 to show you a man turning into a wolf before your eyes. Great.
Yep.
Groundbreaking at the time, I would say. Dated now, obviously. And then you get to, like, let's face it, like you don't really get much different until 81. I could be forgetting something that I'm not thinking of, but that is why American
Right,
Werewolf
but
and the
still.
Howling and the argument
Yep.
between the two were the best transformation sequences put to screen, because they were trying to show you what they wanted to show you way back in the day, their interpretation of how that would play out now with the technology that they had. And both are successful in their own way. And then you had a big break where there wasn't that great of a transformation sequence. You'd have little pieces and whatever. You'd have like something in Silver Bullet that was okay, and Company of the Wolves that was okay, but nothing that really blew you away like
Right.
American Werewolf and the Howling. I would say until late phases, which I had never seen before, and we'll get to very shortly. That blew me away, because once again, it was like, we're going to show you it again.
Yeah, man.
And it's
Agreed.
again, well, I'll save it, but You can see based on my excitement there that where I'm probably going to go with that sentence. But yes, very successful. I'm on board with these makeup things. It's 1941. What are you expecting? 82 years ago.
I'm down with it. I like it. I like to dissolve at the end when he dies, and then we see it go the other way.
Yeah,
I think it's cool. It's never bothered me.
Yeah.
It doesn't offend me the way fucking bad CGI does. I don't know what that says about me. It just doesn't. I'm okay with it. I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. I think maybe because we've been to the pinnacle, we've seen the top of the mountain as far as special effects, doing, you know, prosthetics and doing everything that way practically. And now it's a regression to see it on CGI. So you're just like, I don't want to see this. It's like playing a fucking whatever, an Xbox or a fucking PS5 game. I'm not here to watch video games. So I think that's what it is. It's just the method of it. Not even so much that they had to change it to something different that maybe doesn't look as real. But that's another story. I don't know.
Yep. All good.
I
actually will give this an 8.5 out of 10. It was great to revisit. And I said it made me want to watch Abbott and Costello. I want to watch Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman again as well. So maybe my next show I'll do an update on that too.
And you know what? I'm with you. I also give it an 8.5. I think this is my favorite of the Universal monsters right now. Maybe even a 9. I could even give it a 9. I really enjoyed my time with it. So
well, I'm glad to hear.
So there you have it. Yeah. So that brings us to late phases.
Yeah. So, wait, I gotta get out of this noir now. We got to save that. There we go. We're back. I'm
gonna put on something different. Yeah, I'm gonna do
late phases or Night of the Wolf. I guess it was Late Phases is the original title. Then it came out as Night of the Wolf, but everybody knows it as Late Phases, which is funny enough. So 2014. When deadly beasts attack from the forest, it is up to a grizzled veteran to uncover what the residents of a secluded retirement community are hiding. And it's directed by Adrian Garcia Bolagnano, and written by who I thought was Eric Stoltz as a joke, but it's Eric Stoltz.
With an E. Is it spelled the same way?
With an E at the end. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And it got a very cool cast. Like you've got like Nick Damisi. I guess he's from the Stakeland movies. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I'm fucking up his name. Ethan Embry, who people know. This guy's emotion. He wears his emotion on his face. He can deliver a good emotional scene. Why do you have a little pet dog there?
Well, instead of a wolf, I got a dog.
Lance Guest from Halloween 2 and The Last Starfighter fame.
Yeah, one of your favorites. Yeah, Lance Guest. Yeah, definitely. I thought of you when I saw that name, Lance Guest. Oh, that's a C guy. Him and the other guy from fucking Halloween 2.
How did I miss this when it came out? This supposedly came to theaters and VOD, or is that
I don't know about theaters.
Okay, so it was 2014. I don't even remember this coming out. I know we started the show. It's not like I'm saying I didn't watch horror before. I did, but before we got into this show, I would probably see more of the mainstream releases of the decade leading up with a few offshoots here and there, but never deep diving the way into the amount of watches that I'm doing since we started doing this show. That's for sure.
Well, and that's why you missed it.
Yeah, I guess that answers the question. I asked the question and we answered the question.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was getting all into the weeds with these fucking filters.
How about that, huh?
This was a great watch. I was so pleasantly surprised by it. Like my quibbles are really just quibbles. Like the filter they used for it wasn't my favorite, but I'm not losing sleep over it. It's kind of got a washed out kind of brown look to it, but so be it. It was consistent. At least the movie looks and sounds good. They use practical effects, which are like we were just saying, the best werewolf transformation, in my opinion, since the Howling and the American Werewolf in London. No questions asked. They did such a great job with it.
Since you mentioned it, it is pretty great. I also think that the trick or treat thing is great too. It's kind of similar to it in a way.
I forgot about Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat is good, and the From Wolf to Man backwards transformation in Fright Night is also always been one of my favorites, because I always loved that,
Right.
where Evil Ed, yeah, Evil Ed,
Yeah.
is that his?
Evil Ed. That's
Yeah,
his name.
he
Yep.
transforms back from Wolf to himself. It was great, but yeah, I loved it with the fingers ripping out of the claws ripping out of the skin,
Yeah.
the arms ripping open and the hair being underneath, like you said, very similar. Him tearing his face apart to relieve
Great.
to,
Yeah.
and the wolf design is good. When you see it, certain shots are goofier than others in full wolf garb. When you see them standing, they're a little bulky and they look too costume-esque. But when they shoot around it, the actual face and everything else looks quite good. Like,
Yes.
very, very, very like above average by far, and definitely some of the best we've seen.
All that stuff is really, really cool. The story is really cool. He is a great character. It's so weird that it's Nick D'Amici and freaking just 3 years
D'Amici.
earlier.
What did I say his name was? D'Amici. He was in Steak Land or whatever.
Right. Think about that. He was Mr. just 3 years ago. That badass fucking guy. And in this movie, he's an old fucking blind man. Isn't that
Badass
something?
blind man, yeah.
Right. But
Like,
just the look of him.
Yeah.
Wow. How they did that. He looks older. He does look it. You know, I mean, as good as they can make it look with whatever they gave him, makeup or what have you. But I mean, it does look so good. It's a great fucking cast, like you said. Not only do you have all those other, you have the fucking people from, like, the girls that he meets, the women, I should say.
Yeah.
When he comes in there, he meets
Yeah.
that Dolores woman right away, and you know who that is. That's the love interest from fucking Saturday Night Fever. The girl that he danced with and everything in the end and everything. That girl. And then of course you have the other ones. You have Emma and Gloria and Clarissa. Of course, one of my favorites, you know, Britannia, you know what I mean? So you have her in there. And then you have what's her name, who played fucking Ginger on freaking Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
And
all
who was the other
all
girl?
the people are familiar. Like, you'll know all of them. When you see them, you're like, I know them from something, even if you can't think of that at the time. And then you'll pull up IMDb, pause the movie, look it up, like I always fucking do.
Yeah.
Like, where do I know these people from?
And that was it.
Yeah.
And then you had the cop was, what's his name? Mickey Spillane from Sopranos. He was probably in there for 3 or 4 seasons, but right away I was like, wait a minute, who is this? And then, you know,
thing that was weird to me, and I didn't go back to rewatch, to be honest. So I just want to get your take, was the attack that sort of sets everything into motion. So it's about the father gets dropped off at this sort of retirement center here. And I think some time goes on. I think they're alluding to a lapse of time. It's not just like in the first 2 weeks he's there. I think he's been there for a bit. Correct? Am I wrong in that?
I don't know how long he's been there. It seems like the first night is the first night. Then you see the next day as it unfolds.
So does he get
and
attacked
then I know
the first
at
night?
one point, yes.
Or is it the second night? So that
First
attack, though, is fucking so crazy. It seems like people just kind of let it go. Am I wrong with that? It's like never.
Well,
really...
see, that's it. That's one of my complaints about the movie.
Yeah.
I don't have many, but my complaints are that they looked. It was a little too matter of fact, considering. I don't think that they expect fucking a bear or some monster to come in literally and murder a woman and just say, oh, it's just animal attack. They seem a little bit fucking blase blah about that, which is weird.
That's my only
back to the
biggest
fact.
quibble. Yeah.
Well, and the fact, and I hate to say this because I love the character and I really enjoy the movie, but to me, the type of character that Nick D'Amici is, this guy, what is his name in the movie? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm forgetting too, but I can look it up while you're doing it. I always forget.
The thing is, Ambrose is his name.
Yes. Yep.
So the type of guy Ambrose is, it almost goes against character type to me, that he's gonna immediately go to werewolf based on the fucking first night. He doesn't seem the type of guy that's going to believe in superstitious shit. He is a fucking, you see the kind of, he's a no bullshit guy. It doesn't seem like fucking fairy tales are going to work for someone like him. What they should have done, there should have been a scene later on in the movie when he's speaking to the priest or something where when he's in Nam, he encountered something that led him to fucking already have
True.
something like this in his head. It's for him to immediately go from fucking hard ass fucking ex fucking Marine or whatever he is and being a real fucking, hard-headed type of guy to feeling something in a wall and pulling out a thorn and the next day saying something about a full moon and go, gotta be werewolves. It just seems out of character.
True. I can argue that, and I'm probably right there with you because it kind of stems off of they didn't make that big of a deal, and then they're already onto that to get the movie rolling. But from a movie's pace standpoint, it's great. But I guess I disagree with these, or not disagree, but can argue the other way. It's every other movie would do that and have the guy kind of like, it can't be this, or the people around him at least would be saying that. So maybe it is a little refreshing that he's like lost his sense of sight. So his sense of smell is a little bit more acute, or is more acute, as he even says, I smell you later with the smoke on the guy, whatever, that maybe having him go to that it's actually unique in the sense of usually they always go the other route. It could be the argument, but I'm not. I see what you're saying, and I'm not. I probably those thoughts went through my head as well, but I'm all for it. But I do like how they do make him tough as nails, and how he carries his cash on him because he doesn't trust anybody. He puts into play this motion to trap them and to possibly kill them with the tombstone head and everything else, and how it's not for him and everything else.
Right.
The misdirection of you thinking that is it the priest? Are they going to pull the silver bullet? Callback.
I think that's why they did that.
And
instead of a guy in a wheelchair or a kid in a wheelchair, you have a blind guy. Right?
Yeah,
so did this movie make you wish you were blind at some point? Like another? Just curious.
No, but then he says that, like, you're thinking like, oh, he's got his eyes set on the priest. He doesn't really trust him when it's just
no pun intended.
Yeah.
His eyes set on the priest.
Oh, fuck. And then his nose set on him. And then
there you go.
It ends up being the other guy. And that's great too. I will say Lance Guest, I think it must have been the way the director wanted him to present that information of what he gives us sort of soliloquy, if you will, of what he's trying to do. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. It was almost too nonchalant. I thought he should have almost been evil at that point or something, like he wanted to go there. And I was like, it's okay,
yeah.
But I just wish they went one extra, like, I think he should have been like getting into that character a bit more. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm articulating it correctly. Yeah.
I didn't think at the time, but now that you pointed it out, I know what you're saying. He was kind of like.
But I do like how he gets his army going, knowing that there's going to be a fight. So he goes and bites the women and gets them to turn into werewolves and everything else. I thought that was kind of cool. Like he's creating an army.
Oh, so okay. I was going to say, why now? How come now? This has been going on all this time, once a month. He hasn't attacked all these people. Why now is he fucking making all hell break loose? So
because he knows that Ambrose is onto him, and he's getting prepared, and I think that's it. So he had to kind of like that.
That's good.
And I'm not saying, again, I first time watch, and so I'm not saying that there might have not been dialogue to also tell us that now is the time. I think that's what he says in his sort of speech to the priest. And he says, and please tell, like, when I kill you, just realize it's out of love and whatever it may be. So I also liked how he has that falling out with his son. And I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I can't even believe it. I actually felt like I was welling up at the end when the son's listening to the message after. I was like, holy fuck. How did this movie manage that? Like, and I kind of got like a little bit of emotion kind of seeping out of me.
It's easy to do when you have a hard ass character who finally shows his fucking soft side. That's what happens. You know what I mean? It's built that way. If he was a regular character, it wouldn't have the same impact. It's because this guy is the way he is. and he's set in his ways and he doesn't
And he
express
apologized for it.
emotion. Right.
Yeah.
So now he
Like he's making
finally
amends.
does.
Yeah.
Yes, in his final moments, and he knows it's coming to an end. He dresses up in his own fucking, I was only ever good at being a soldier. He dresses up. He knows he's probably not going to survive. He's going to go out that way. And he has to, tell his son some things. And that's great.
Is it always a bite? Because I thought in werewolf lore, again, question for the masses, is he gets scratched. And I thought that would turn somebody into a werewolf. And he got a chunk taken out of him and he bandages him up. So then I was starting to wonder, is he going to try to do this before he turns? But they never go that route. He never turns.
Right. I thought the same thing and I don't know why. So maybe there's something to it because it did occur to me.
Like he's not bitten, but he gets slashed. Like he gets a good chunk taken out of his side, like scratched. And I thought a scratch was enough. But I do like the reveal. I'm jumping all over the place here. But I do like the reveal when he goes to get the silver bullets and he asks the guy if you've ever had that before. He's like, I had one guy before. He goes, who was it? He goes, let me look it up. And he goes, his name was, and then they slam cut to him. And I love that. I actually rewound it. I'm like, that was a cool transition.
100%.
Right, yeah, to the reveal. Like really cool. Where you kind of maybe could have figured it out just based on who was left and how the characters were kind of progressing. Because I believe at that time he hadn't attacked the women yet. Then it leads to him asking for help and creating his army. But the wolves look good. That's why I'm saying when he's in the car and the headlights hit and you see that wolf there, it looks like a bear costume almost. It looks kind of ridiculous. But then when they show the multiple wolves coming out, it looks really cool. So like,
yeah,
it's like a 50-50. So I feel like they could have edited around it a bit more, but it's still more successful than not with what they do show for sure.
I love the look of the wolf, except for the fucking face. The face makes them look like, and Jamie said this years ago, and I always remember that, hobgoblins. It has a hobgoblin look to it.
Hobgoblin. What a obscure, like not even that obscure, but I guess I can see that. But
do you remember what they look like?
First, well, just in it looks like this werewolf. I go off the top of my head, I can't remember. But first glance, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like the look of the werewolf. But then when they were all out and about, I kind of switched gears and I said I do like them.
Well, there you go. See, and I like them too.
But I'm not saying that they're not hobgoblin-esque. I just didn't. I just at first it took me a little while to warm up to them, but I did.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think I owe it to that kick-ass transformation scene, and we get a lot of blood at the end. It gets really gooey. I love how he shoots himself in the foot like he's not. Oh yeah.
See?
Which is really just an offshoot of a gremlin.
Yeah, but hairier and fucking with teeth and shit, Yeah.
A hairy gremlin. He shoots himself in the foot and that carnage looks gross. When there's an exploding head, he takes that shotgun and blows a werewolf's head apart. Yeah.
See that there? Much more with the teeth. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the exploding head is fucking great, of course. Yeah. Oh, the look of him was great. The effects were great. Just the face, I couldn't get over it. That is the problem. It's the only weakness, I thought. But I mean, what are you going to do? It's like you said, it's a lot more positive than negative when it comes to that. Just in general on the movie, it's just it's just a lot more positive than negative. The only issues I had were what I mentioned: him going straight to werewolf and a lot happening, and it just seems like a little too much to look the other way for the convenience of plot. And by the way, time does pass because there was the one part after he buys the headstone because he wants to bury the dog in that hole. Well, and that's not really what his plan is, but we find out later. But still, when they pull up, the guy says, "Man," he goes, "I can't believe neighbors haven't complained about the smell." And he goes, "Yeah, it's been almost 2 weeks or something." So that's our passage of time.
You're right. And then why? Can I gotta ask it. I'm sure it was said in the dialogue, but why is he smoking the dogs?
Smoking the dogs.
Like he takes that big, he has all those dead dogs in the bin and he puts them in the smoker.
What? Who?
Lance Guest.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember that part.
There's a whole scene where it's like, you hear all the the flies, and they use the fly sound effect kind of to show character, a character trait too, because the flies, I think, are
Well, he
around when he gets
kills the
attacked.
dogs. I
He
know
kills the
why.
dogs. He kills the dogs,
He has
but
to
why
get
is he
rid of
throwing
them.
them? That's it.
To
He's
burn
just
them.
getting rid of them. Well, why is
What's
he
he
not
gonna
burning
do,
them
bury
all up?
them?
It's like, well, he's got a box full of them. There's like 3 dead ones in there. And he's like, today I'm just gonna pop one in the smoker. Why not pop up like a bunch of like they're all sitting there rotting there. You can hear the flies going crazy.
I guess you're right, because we already know that he kills the dogs because the guy says it to him in the priest in the confrontation. Tom Noonan, another good actor.
Yeah.
So in that confrontation, he's talking to him and he says, I know, have you done something besides kill the dogs or something? He says something about killing the dogs. I'm like, oh, he killed the dogs. So they didn't really need to do that. You're right. So there was 3 in a box.
There's like at least 2 other. Oh, he threw one in. There's like, I think
How
2
did I
other
miss
dead dogs
this?
in there. A box of
really?
dead dogs. Yeah.
So we just picked a random dog out of a
He
box
just pulled
and
one
threw
out
it in
and
a
threw
fire.
it in the smoker. Unless we're supposed to, I'm pretty sure he leaves at that point. But
I
unless you're supposed
remember
to think
that
he's
now.
getting rid of them, but like, why let them marinate in their own filth in this box? Why not smoke them right away then? Smoke them if you got them.
Is that why he was coughing? Is that why he had asthma from smoking dogs?
I don't know.
Well, because they gave him asthma for
Yeah.
no reason. Like
Yeah.
the priest was coughing because he was a smoker, I guess. And then I thought there was some type of connection later on when the guy was coughing in the car.
They
I'm
were.
like,
Well,
wait a
they're
minute.
trying to. That's what was supposed to throw you off. Like he blamed the
Why?
priest. Well, it was
Why
just
would that
that
throw
was
you
just.
off? The werewolf didn't cough.
Well, the werewolf, he smelled like smoke though when he got attacked
Who
by
smelled
someone
like
during the
smoke?
day. The guy that, have we watched the same movie here? When Ambrose gets attacked, he says, I could smell you. And he talks about smelling smoke. So then he thinks it's the priest because this priest smokes.
Well, yeah, I understand that he told the priest I could smell you because he smoked. But what does that have to do with the werewolf attack?
No, then he sets his sight because he gets attacked by someone that he can smell and smell the smoke on. And then he ends up saying it's I don't understand why you're not getting this. And then he thinks it's the priest. And then we realize it's not the priest after he talks with them. And this other guy's hacking up a lung because he smokes.
Oh.
So
the werewolf smells like smoke, you're telling me.
No, it's not a werewolf when he gets attacked by the guy outside. Did you watch this movie again, or are you going by memory?
Of course I fucking did. Yes. I just
There's
remember
a
the
whole
werewolf.
scene where he's digging and he stops and he says, I don't want to talk to you anymore after his son left. I thought we talked about it. And then,
Yeah,
and then the
that
guy comes up and he gets attacked and he hits him and whatever. And then it cuts away. It's like, I could smell you or whatever. And I'm believing he's saying it's not a werewolf. It's just a guy cloaked. And I think he's saying he could smell him because he smells like smoke. So he thinks it's the priest.
Hold on. Wait the fuck on. So you're saying because he says I could smell you, you're assuming that he's talking about smoke when it's the hooded figure.
I think he says that later. I think he actually alludes to it later when he's talking to Lance Guest's character in the car, and he thinks it's the priest. And Lance Guest is like, you could come down and anybody in this community be included, but you can't talk ill about that man and whatever.
Okay.
And then he goes and talks with the priest, and then he even says, I've got the wrong guy. And then Lance Guest starts hacking up a lung later, and then it shifts the gear on him, and he's then like, it's not like we're not talking about Sherlock Holmes-esque detective work here, and he feels like he knows who it is now, and that's what shifts it. So whether or not he smells the smoke on him or not, but there is a parallel there. There's a connection there.
You're from the depths of hell and you could smell the smoke. Okay, so that's what it was. Because I do remember him saying I could smell you, but I just thought he could smell anyone that's around.
Well, true.
So
but I think later, I think that's what they're trying to go for as well.
Okay.
But he then has the priest. He's not sure of the priest, and he thinks it's the priest, and then it ends up they shift gears.
That's funny though. For a second, I thought you were actually saying the werewolf smelled like smoke. Man, that's werewolf smells like smoke.
But you're right. Why give the guy asthma? But it's a trait to give his character up. But usually when they've got the supernatural element to them, like he could turn into a wolf, they typically seem, if their wounds could disappear right in front of their eyes,
Right.
like it does
Well,
there. Why the fuck does he have asthma?
that's another complaint from me. I hate to say it because I do enjoy the movie, but the way the priest reacts to the fucking guy who's confessing. First, he sees his wounds literally heal in front of his eyes. And then he starts seeing him transform, and he's standing there looking at him. He doesn't fucking leave the place
Then he
until
runs at a
halfway through
very
the
slow
transformation.
pace. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's for our
What do you-
benefit. So we can see the transformation, but you're right. He does. He stops to smell the roses a bit to watch that before he runs out. And I'm not gonna lie, I laughed when he ran out. It was almost Shelley-esque, not quite Shelley from Friday 13th Part 3 running, but I always laughed because Tom Noonan not a big guy, but just the way he ran looked very silly as he went to his car. But you're right, he stops and watches.
He does. And then, but the thing, and also watches the fucking the wounds heal themselves and thinks nothing of it.
Yeah, I know. And then the wounds don't heal when he looks at himself in the mirror right away, right? Too. Or are those the same wounds that do heal later? Maybe he can call it, but he can't heal his asthma.
Yeah, I don't
imagine the werewolf is just hacking up a lung. Like the werewolf has to take like the
That would have been great. Then you could tell who's who.
Yeah.
Right? Because the one scene you can't tell. Then somebody dies and one werewolf is holding the other. I think somebody lost their wife. And did I miss a scene? Well, I know Ratanya Alda's character was fucking exaggerating the whole fucking movie, typically saying, "Oh, he came into my house and he tried to kill my husband in the iron lung," when he didn't do anything of the fucking sort. She just wanted to be a bitch because she was offended because he said, "Good luck with the vegetable." But anyway, that whole scene. Did I miss that scene when fucking they got attacked? Because she comes out later and she has a bandage around her wrist and says that the guy came in and attacked her.
I got them a little confused. I thought it was the woman that we see get attacked. Well, we see two women get attacked. I thought it was the first one with the husband that's not in the iron lung that's out there and then her, and he's like, and he just bites into her and then whatever. And I thought that was her that we see later.
One was the middle of the night, and it was not the guy with the iron lung because the husband was in bed with her. And the other, the guy came to the door and then bit her arm quickly. What was the scene with Ratanya?
No, there's two shot scenes, and I think you're supposed. They're using the fact that we've seen two for her changing the hand on the phone was the reveal that she also got bitten. That's I think what they've done. I think you didn't see it, but I think they're by showing us the after fact there, we know that she was also attacked too. They should have had a werewolf in the iron lung. That would have been fucking hilarious. Like he went and bit him, and he's like, "Oh, get me out of this fucking iron lung."
Maybe the iron lung could have killed the werewolf. We could have taken it a step further. It could have been like one of those things trapped in there, and they crank it up like fucking Final Destination.
But it's funny when I finish this movie, I'm like, holy fuck! That I'm not down on the movie. The movie's great, but my rating slightly changed from when I was coming into this discussion to where I'm ending the discussion. To be honest, just a half point. Still really enjoyed it, but I think I was coming in at an 8, and I think I'm going to end up at a 7.5. I really enjoyed the movie, and I said it kind of when a movie can also get that emotional aspect out, I do tend to put them more on a pedestal, and I think that's where that 8 came from. But the more we're talking here, there's a bit of messiness, even though there's some cool characters and some great gore and great effects, and all that is what you really want in the movie. I think you're right. There's some messiness here, and maybe some not cheats, but like could have been maybe done a bit better. And when with the reveal of who it is great, but then his transition when he's about to kill the priest and his, like I said, his monologue or whatever just could have been a little amped up a bit more. Sorry, I was holding that in.
Hey,
thank you.
You do what you do, brother. You know what? I'm still at an 8. I've been at an 8, I think, since the first time I saw it. I still think it's great. I just think that there was a couple of missteps. It could have been done. I could have come in higher, but there are a few missteps. But overall, I think it's a great movie. I enjoy my time with it. I love the character.
Fucking 8. I'll stay with 8. I agree with you. Yeah.
I think it deserves that. I think it's but it's just a little lacking in a few things that you had to look the other way on. But it's not like terrible. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
not
and
like
the
a
number,
terrible mistake in
the
it.
rating means nothing. My enjoyment is
Well,
what
no.
it means. So the rating is just something we
Yeah.
throw out at the end. And I think an 8 would more reflect my feelings for the movie, like you said. And I think you're right. I owe it that. Like I came out going, holy fuck, this is the best werewolf movie I've seen in a long fucking time. And I'm not high. I don't like Dog Soldiers. I got to watch Dog Soldiers again. I'm not. That did nothing really for me. So I owe it another watch. Same like Malignant and a few other ones that I just I didn't hate it, but I don't remember it being like, why are people talking so much?
That's one of our spin things.
Yeah,
that's one of our spins. A movie that you didn't like, that we second chances is the fucking thing I came up with.
Yeah.
Where we give a movie a second chance. That might
Dog Soldiers might be it. There we go.
That might be the one for you, right? Yeah.
I mean, isn't it funny that I came up on this other one, The Descent?
Oh yeah, true. Yes,
that is weird. Same director. Yeah,
yeah. That's another level. Fucking The Descent. I'm with you on Dog Soldiers. I enjoy it, but there's a couple of things that hold back on me, and there's a plot hole that I don't like, and so it kind of figures in. I don't dislike it. I don't blow it like others may do, So
you're at an 8. I'm at an 8. It's definitely worth checking out. I did not know about this movie. I think Derek B mentioned it, and I think I heard Jamie talking about it at one point. And it was a blind spot, for more of a recent blind spot, and I'm glad we checked it out when you mentioned it. I'm like, yeah, let's do that when we got the werewolves.
So let's do that. Yep, 2014. I want to say that was my list. I because that was the year this came out, right? 2014. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that this movie was on my list. I'm just trying to see what number it was, but that's okay. I thought it would pop up easily. I thought I had it saved, but I do not. Oh, there it is. It was my number 7. It was my number 7 of 2014. So, yeah. Cool. So I have everything from 2014 up. I have for where they were on my tops.
Let's why don't we see what the number is? I feel like did I fuck up? Did we get 15 or 16 our first time when we did this?
Huh? 15 or 16?
Yeah, sorry for the number of what we
each did 15, so it was 16 because it was your first 16. One.
I know. I just wanted to make sure you didn't say 15. I'm like, yeah, that's my first one, because I feel like I would have done that. But I guess it was 16 anyway. But yeah, we're done. I like this. This is fun.
It is fun. Now, next movie or next show, we might only do one movie. It's hard to say because it's almost like a BS show. But half of the show is BS now anyway. Actually,
you don't want to take. Well, that's what I'm saying. Why don't we just pick a number? I'm okay to do it.
We'll pick a number and see what happens. Okay, here we go. Yeah. 1 in 30. What's it say?
Oh wait, I switched to my list. 23.
Air Jordan. Air Jordan.
Oh,
Air Jordan.
Old versus new. Dawn of the Dead.
Got to do 2 movies. That means okay. So it is going to be 2. Dawn of the Dead. Wow.
Old versus new. Dawn of the Dead.
Son of a bitch. All right.
Here we go.
Well, son of a bitch. I wish I had the 4K now. I've been holding out. I keep saying I'm not going to watch Dawn of the Dead until I get that 4K.
Sorry.
Damn it. Well, we might have time because this show isn't going to be until the next month. So, we might have time. Yeah, I think so. Well, we'll find out. Hopefully I get that damn 4K. I spend the money on it, and it is what it is. Because if I'm going to watch it.
Oh, you've ordered it, or you meant you want to order it?
No,
still?
I've never ordered it. No, okay. I've been putting it off because I didn't want to spend the money on it. But I've always been saying to myself, the next time I watch Dawn of the Dead is when I buy the 4K. So we'll see what happens.
Well,
okay,
sounds good. Cool.
So that's it. Yeah. So we'll be back in May, and we'll start off with old versus new, Dawn of the Dead. So awesome. All right. Well, you got anything before we go?
No. Thanks, everybody. And if anybody wants to chip in, not chip in, I meant respond. Yeah,
chime in.
Chip in and chime in is what I meant to say. Chip in all you like, even though you already have.
Yeah.
So
we're okay with that.
Chime in on all the questions or whatever. We get it every now and then, but I'm asking, like, throw it out there. I mean, answer some of these fucking questions. And otherwise, yeah, we'll see you next episode.
That's it. Yeah, we'll see you. Manchichi, Manchichi. Much love and peace.